content over everything.
We managed to forsake the love and do our own things. Yeah? And that's the reason why we've been punished over and over again. But throughout the time, you always have people coming in to help us come back into the path of righteousness. You had the prophets, you know, you had Jeremiah, you had Isaiah, you had Malachi. These different prophets are coming in to help us guide us to the path of righteousness. You know? And within that, you had righteous people within them, but we're still going to captivity, even the righteous ones.
Well, why are we going into captivity? Why?
Because it's written. Shall I read it?
So God told all, the main principle is God told all these people that they must follow these laws, right? And they kept failing. But I think you're going to read something that says...
That's just illustrate what? Because
I was just going to say that God
illustrate.
already knew this anyway. So God knew that it was going to fail. Not only did he know, but he created that way.
God is the ultimate director, right?
Yeah.
He does everything.
Director, producer, everything.
Everything.
So I'm just wondering why he created something to fail.
So we have parts, yeah? When you write a script, when someone writes a script, it has a part for every single actor to play, right? We are the Israelites. We are the rulers of the world. But we are in low states today because we've forgotten our true God, our true power. And we mingled with people and with their cultures, their natures, and we became accustomed to the Babylonian way of thinking. So
Which is the bad side, is what you said.
Which is anti-life.
Anti-life.
Yeah.
Hence the Babylonian Talmud.
So I'll read something in Deuteronomy.
Are you familiar with the Babylonian Talmud?
Yeah. So this is something that we don't deal with. Right? We don't deal with that stuff. Yeah. Okay. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Yeah. It shall come to pass. This was Moses. Yeah. That was given before they even got into the land of Israel. Yeah. And when they were coming out of Egypt.
Sorry, this was given to who? Sorry.
Moses.
Before they got into Israel.
Yeah. For Moses to give to us.
Okay,
as a code of conduct, and also telling us what's going to happen if we don't obey. The reason why there's a lot of madness.
But God was the director. Sorry to put you up. But God, so you've analogized it to a movie set where God's the director.
No, he's the ultimate director, writer.
So he's the screenwriter.
It does everything.
So we're the actors. We have no choice in anything. It's already written.
There's not free will.
There's no free will.
There's no free will.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I think you're the first Hebrew Israelite I've heard say there's no free will.
No, there's no such thing as free will.
So that's what I'm trying to say. If there's no free will, so there's no point in even discussing anything, because basically you're saying God's designed everything from the beginning. You know, he's done it on purpose, or it has done it on purpose. And so we just follow it. So everything that's happening, all the torture, all the curses, all that kind of stuff, is part of natural progression. So we should just ride with it.
Well, the curses are a product of our disobedience, right?
No, but there is no disobedience. We're following we are being obedient since there's no free will. We're being obedient to the script.
We're not being obedient. Yeah, you are you are being passive about what's going on around your environment.
You're just following the script.
Yeah. When you follow, you are active. So being an active is to be obedient to the word of the Most High. This is what's been asked in Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Yeah? It says, it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, actively observe, to do all these commandments, all of them, and his statutes, which I command thee to these days, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Yeah? So, and then you have, if you read the whole passage, you can read the curses. These curses you can only find the specific people that these curses apply to.
No, I get it. I'm familiar with the Hebrew Israelite philosophy. What I'm trying to say though is, if the script's already been written, the curses were on purpose though. If I'm a designer or something, and I control everything that these organisms do, and I've designed it that they kill, rape, they do all sorts of madness, right? Number one, can I have a punishment for them when I'm the one who's done it?
You will, because it's all part of...
Should I have a punishment for them when I'm the one who's made them do that?
Yeah, let me read you something, yeah? About what he said, the nature of the Most High, right? Because I told you he's the ultimate power.
Ultimate.
Yeah?
Ultimate power.
I've got French accent, so if you
you are?
some words I don't
Okay,
understand,
respect.
just
So English is your second
let me
language?
know, yeah? My fourth.
Jeez and peace, respect, big respect. Because most English people can't speak more than one language, so
I've been around a bit.
yeah, respect.
So,
What are the other two, by the way? French, English, what are the other two? Languages?
yeah, French, Lingala,
Is that
Dutch,
African?
yeah,
Dutch as well?
Portuguese,
Okay, Portuguese, that's like 5 then.
a bit of Chiluba as well.
Okay.
Anyway, so Isaiah 45 and 7, that's the Most High speaking.
Okay.
I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. And then let me take you into Deuteronomy 32 and 39.
Okay.
See now that I, even I, am He. There is no God with me. I kill, I make alive. I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. He's the ultimate power. Yeah, when it says he creates evil, yeah, he makes peace, he
Yeah, I
does
got
all
that.
these things.
That
So
gives me more questions though. That bewilders me.
it changes you, it changes the nature of who you're dealing with, yeah? And then I'm going to ask you a question. When you write a script, yeah, obviously you do a casting session, whatever, who's going to fit into what, yeah? Is that person who's rehearsing the script going to go off the script when you're shooting it? When you're
Are
filming?
they going to go off the script?
Yeah. Or are they just going to follow whatever they
In that scenario,
have to do?
they can go off the script because they have free will.
But
you're saying they
but
don't have free will in this.
But if you're filming a film, you're producing a film, and then they have to be paid for what they're doing, they have to be paid for literally reading the script and acting it out, right?
But it's still free will because people, it depends on the dynamics, the social dynamics. You may have an actor that has more status than the director.
What happened to the actor?
If you got Arnold
No one's got more
Schwarzenegger,
status than God, though.
say that again.
No one's got more status than
No.
No, but he's using a different analogy, and in that analogy he's using, human beings do have more status than other people. So what you're saying then is the analogy isn't equal to the. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's not equal.
It's not the right analogy.
It's not
So you
not
have to
equal.
use in fact, there is no other analogy.
No, listen. I'll stick to the same analogy, right? I'll stick to the same analogy, right? Yeah. You have the good guys, or the main guy, yeah? You have the baddies, and you have
Sorry to stop you. Ain't it good guys because ain't Elohim more than one God? It's the gods or the judges, right?
No, but Elohim,
plural.
yeah, it's Alahayim, yeah, in ancient Hebrew, it's a plural.
Yeah.
It's gods.
So there's more
plural,
than one.
Yeah, gods just means power, right?
Okay.
God is not a name.
So is it one or is it many?
There's one, yeah. The Hebrew sort of like cosmology, or whatever pantheon you can call it.
Okay.
You have the Creator, and you have the Son, and you have the angels. The angels are the Alahayims, the Elohims, and you and I are called to be Elohims as well.
Okay.
But we're not there yet.
Are you aware of Gnosticism?
Yeah.
So in Gnosticism, Yahweh has a mother, right?
But we don't deal with that madness. That's the madness. That's
So does this come before Gnosticism or after?
no, but
Because I don't know, so I'm just asking questions.
within the Hebrews, yeah, you had people that deviated from the faith, right? So the Babylonian Talmud and all these things, and people bringing in some mysticism within the Hebrew faith, yeah. Which is something that,
are you attaching to King James version or where's your?
to be honest, yeah, there's no sort of like a dogmatic affiliation to a certain book, right?
Okay.
But the book that is closer to the ancient text is the King James in English.
Okay.
Right? Just because of the way it's been interpreted together and all these things, and etc. Yeah? So we use that because it's closer to the Hebrew texts.
Allegedly.
I mean, according to the school,
I mean, I don't know.
the school of work that's been done, done behind the scene.
That's the Hebrew Israelite for understanding.
Yeah,
that
but there's no
it's
sort of dogmatic attachment to the printing of King James. But everyone should be reading King James because it's more precise. Right? But you can read other versions if you don't understand the language, to get simple language, whatever. But there are so many issues with other versions. That's the reason why we stick to this. Right? But coming back to the analogy, right? The director, his job is to make things, make sure that things go to plan. Right? The script writer has already written what this guy's going to do.
Well, in this case, God is the scriptwriter as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What this guy's going to do.
Yeah.
And then, as a casting director, your job is to cast someone who's going to do the script anyway.
But ain't God the casting director as well?
Exactly.
So the actor has no power. The actor is a dummy.
Power.
The actor is a dummy acting on behalf of the... It's almost like... I'll tell you what it's like. It's like... Here's a better analogy. It's like an animation. It's like a cartoon.
This is the most nice film. This world,
it's a cartoon then.
Everything has been scripted, yeah, from the beginning to the end. It's the fall of the Adam, the restoration of Adam, the chosen seed, right, and the ruling of the chosen seed on earth.
Don't you think a lot of that is metaphorical though?
Well, let's read Deuteronomy 7:6 because that was direct, right?
Okay.
These are basic texts that people can read.
Would you agree it's more like a cartoon then, in the respect of the animations are just drawn, you put the words into the mouth? That seems to be more of a correct analogy with what you're describing. Because the cartoon characters have no choice. It's not like a human actor that can decide to say it this way, can say it with this tone.
No, but a human actor can't decide anything that's outside the script writers and the director's intention. Because if I write my script, I'm a director, I'm doing all these things, and I'm paying you to do the work I'm asking you to do, I'm expecting you to do whatever I'm asking you. If you don't, I'll replace you.
But that's what happens in movie sets. It always happens. And not only that, to go further, sometimes people deviate either on purpose or by accident. The director looks at it and says, do you know what? That works better. So that's why it can't be analogized.
But that's what we say.
Human life. That's why I said a cartoon. Because a cartoon won't answer back. You put the words into the machine, you'll write the animation, and it will be that. The cartoon don't get an opportunity.
But that's what I'm saying. Is the ultimate. Is the ultimate.
So it's more like a cartoon.
Whatever is written down is what must happen.
Whatever is drawn in the animation.
It will never. It will never get counsel from humans.
Like a cartoon.
Or in the film, it's an autocratic power. If you look at him that way, it's not like a.
No, I get it.
You know,
I
like
get it.
one
That's
of them,
not what I'm kind of.
New wave or nouvelle vague.
I get it. I'm trying to help
director.
you in the analogy. What I'm trying to say is, there's no room for interpretation by other human beings.
There's no room.
That's
for
way
that.
It's like an animation because an animation.
I mean, you can call it that. You know, I'm not going to go against it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go against it. If that helps you kind of understand the setting, right?
Yeah.
But in Deuteronomy 7:6, like that
Deuteronomy is the laws, right?
Yeah.
The six unreverting laws.
Exactly. You know something.
Yeah, I know because do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Not exploring it.
Okay, so we should explore this together.
We're inviting you to get into it.
No,
but let me tell you first.
And then when you're ready, I'll ask you some questions.
Thou art in the holy people unto the Lord thy God. This is Deuteronomy 7:6, yeah? The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are on the face of the earth. Okay. Right?
Yep.
From there, you already get a sense that we are above all people. But how come we are in these conditions right now? And for someone who kind of like wants to rationalize everything, it won't make sense to them, right? But how come I'm supposed to be above all people, but I'm in a society, you know, I'm being called a nigger, I'm being called this black key and things like that. Wherever we go to the Middle East, it's the same thing. We go to Brazil, it's the same thing. Yeah, America, it's the same thing. Yeah, because we became a proverb and a byword amongst all nations. Yeah, that's true. It is true. And I'll show you that actually within,
just like the slavery with ships and all them kind of things.
Yeah.
Even though there were some slavery in other nations with ships, there was some.
Deuteronomy, 28 and 37. Thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Right? That's because we forgot the law. People
On purpose. It's on purpose though.
I mean, we forgot the law.
Remember, we're a cartoon character.
No, but
We never had the choice to forget the law. That was part of the script.
no.
That's what you said.
You have a choice whether to follow the Most High or not.
No, but you just
But
said
the
you have
free-
no choice.
free will. There's no free will.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to work out your from your analogy. And remember, we've understood it's like a cartoon. That cartoon don't get to decide anything. It is what it is. There's no decisions they can make. Like you said, the actor can't decide that they're going to say it in a different way. They have to follow, otherwise they're going to get sacked.
Yeah.
So
within your life,
So everything that happened was the way God wanted it to happen.
of course,
So-
you're getting it. But that's the reason why it's still part of the script that we fell down
So
as a
what's
nation,
so what would be the point?
because he's restoring, like he's asking us to follow back his ways.
No, but you can't. No,
His ways are righteous.
Now I'm confused.
Yeah.
How can he ask us, as if we had free will, to do something outside
No,
of
but
what?
it's what we're supposed to do. Yeah.
No, but we can't do other than what we're supposed to do. Is that correct?
Yeah, but
So then how do we do anything?
when you're looking at a movie, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end.
Yeah.
Right? And the end is always going back into a better place, whatever, depending on what sort of movie you're looking into. It's the same thing. Yeah. We were there, we fell down, and now we're going back into where we're supposed to be. Yeah? As the gods of the earth. Okay, right? And in rulership, because we're going to be ruling the whole earth. Yeah, it sounds like cartoonish, whatever, but this is what's going to happen. But we have to rule in righteousness. In order to do that, you need to understand what is righteousness. Righteousness is the law of the Most High. Yeah, we are learning. Yeah, we're learning the law of the Most High. We're learning how to be righteous. We're learning how to deal with our own people. Yeah, but waking up the minds of our own people. Right. And it's not collective things anyway. Okay, it's all about the elect of the Most High.
Okay, I get that part. I still can't get past the part where we can't do anything outside of the script.
But everything has been scripted from the beginning.
So
But
all I'm trying to ask then is, if we can't do anything outside the script, and we've got there's a movie that's been made, and
you have a role to play as an Israelite, whether you're a righteous Israelite or you wicked Israelite.
I don't have to do anything because I'm already being guided.
But what you're doing is all part of the script.
Yeah,
what
all part of the
I'm
script.
doing now,
So what's the
it's all
point
part
then?
of the script.
So what kind is the point? It's almost like, I've always said, if destiny is real, where you have fate and you're going to go where you're going to go no matter what, and you don't have free will to go and live a life how you want to live it, then what's the point?
The point is the end.
The point is the end.
Yeah. If you focus in the end, right? And you should know what's coming
So
up.
go to the end then. So what's going to happen? To my understanding of the end
Let me
is-
give you another passage
Go on.
about things being preordained, right?
Okay.
So
Even though
Jeremiah.
I've got the preordained.
Yeah, okay.
You're preaching to the converted day. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to work out the purpose. But go for it. Go for it.
So
The destination.
even though
Yeah, I'm looking at this. The destination now.
even though Jeremiah had his own life whatsoever, yeah, but the Most High knows the end before the beginning.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
whatever happens within the space, it's not really your free will. It's part of the script.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah?
I'm with you.
So Jeremiah 1
We have no
and
choice.
5.
We got to go through everything the way it's designed. I
Jeremiah
get
1
it.
and 5, yeah? Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So he's already done that all before.
Okay.
Yeah? So what you're just acting out your script.
I get it.
Yeah? So the concept of free will, just because I decide to kind of like do this or do that, that's not free will.
Okay.
That's me just operating within this environment.
Following the script.
Operating within the environment.
God's in total control.
You're operating within a limited environment.
I get it.
Yeah.
So in that respect, because we have no control of nothing, And everything that bad or good that happens to us is all part of it. So we shouldn't really be complaining about anything that's going wrong to our people.
No, but you have control of your view as a person of your
And we said we don't have control.
No, but not control
Now
as
I'm
in you're
confused.
controlling the elements, right? But of what should happen to you.
So I have control of what's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, where are you from, by the way?
What do you mean, ethnically or
West
nationally?
Indian.
Yeah, I'm tribe of Benjamin in Jamaica.
So right now, if you are living outside the law,
Man's law.
no, outside Most High's law, the Torah,
Okay.
yeah, there are things that's going to happen to you, which are beyond your control, right? Because the law is our fortress, you know. The law is our protection. The Most High is our protection, you know, above all. You know, but it's through the obedience of what He's asking us to do.
Okay, but I am confused though, because we spent like 20 minutes you explaining and telling me that there's no way you can change the script.
No, you can't change the script.
But now you're saying to me, forgive me if I'm missing
Yeah.
but now you're saying to me that I do have a choice.
It's not changing the script, though. But you still have to act out what you're supposed to do.
I'm lost. I don't know what that means though.
What you need to do as an Israelite, yeah, that's all you need to do. All you need to know, yeah, as an Israelite.
But I have the will to do what I want to do. And same with everybody else. Is that what you're saying?
No. As an Israelite, what we are commanded to do, yeah, above anything, any other thing, yeah, is to follow the law.
Yeah.
That's all we need to do.
Yeah, you're supposed to follow God's law. Yeah.
Follow God's law, yeah, and apply the law,
Yeah.
right?
And you have to do that yourself. Can you fail God's law? Let me ask you that question. We're supposed to follow as God's people, because I'm an Israelite as well, technically, yeah? So we're supposed to follow a certain law and a certain path. Can I fail to fulfill that law? Can I fail in my quest?
Of course.
Yeah?
That's the reason why faith.
So is the answer yes?
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
fail. Okay.
That's the reason why we do all things we do is through faith, right? We have the faith in who the world calls Jesus Christ, whose name is Yahweh, yeah,
Yeshua.
yeah,
Yeshua.
and through the Holy Spirit that we can do all these things, right? But we can't always do everything perfect.
Well, that'll bring me to the next point then, because that point was kind of confusing with the scripting. That'll bring me to the next point then. If this is true, and we're supposed to follow this path and we're Hebrew Israelites and all this kind of thing, why would, and I've asked this question before, why would an omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent being of any type, of any kind, create such a message and such a path? So the message was given to us to allow us to be able to move towards righteousness in the right path, yeah? Why would such a small entity do something so unsmart as to create a book
A small
in a language,
smart,
intelligent
entity.
being, as in omniscient, yeah, that's what that
Yeah,
means, all-knowing.
yeah, all-knowing, yeah.
Why would something so intelligent create a book? Like today, we would never create a book to spread to the world, really. It's not an efficient way to do things.
Well, you know, everything's been based on a book.
And we're not all powerful and all intelligent. We wouldn't even do that.
But you know, everything is based upon a book.
Everything is based upon a book, which
Most major civilizations have written
yeah, and they all fail and
written
crumble.
laws
And they all fail and
written
crumble.
Cultures and everything up until this very
not
second
most.
that someone's writing.
No, not most, because writing didn't really exist.
No, you can write on the walls. Yeah, writing on the walls and things like that.
True,
You know,
paintings, yeah. In terms of pictures and stuff. No,
Yeah, so
let's say I agree with
the
that.
book is just a support,
Yeah,
of a certain ordinance. You know what I mean? You can have an oral ordinance, or you can have a written ordinance, or you can have it in tablets. This is just a format.
No, I get it, but it's inefficient. That's all I'm saying. I'm
But
just asking the question. Like, why would someone... We wouldn't even do it in book form. It don't make any sense.
Sorry, I think what Breda is trying to tell you is that when it comes to the law, every law is written in a book, so the next generation can be able to read and follow suit.
Natural law, all right, I subscribe until I know otherwise, because I can be convinced. But at the moment, I subscribe to what I know is a fact, which is natural law, the law of nature. That's not in no book, apart from science books that try to understand reality. Then they put it in a book to try and understand. more in accordance with astrotheology, which is where I believe all these books came from, which is a great source. And I think that we've misunderstood from the source. That's what I would say.
What do you mean by the law of nature?
Sorry, go on.
When you say natural law, it is-
Nature?
Nature. I mean,
Which
when
is
you say
God's law, which is God's law.
When you say natural law, when you're talking about human beings, right? We know that it is not right for a man to kill what he has not created. So how do you put that in the book for the next generation?
That's
to know?
man's law you're talking about.
No. When you say natural law,
Yeah.
or you say you can't kill something you've not.
That's not
created.
that's not natural law. What
No,
you're talking about.
no, killing is not natural, is it?
Yes, it is.
To a human being.
A human killing another human ain't
Yeah.
natural. But to
it
my
natural?
understanding, I'm not super intelligent.
Just asking
So my
questions.
yeah, no, and I'm just answering, but I can only answer what I know. To my understanding from evolution, killing is a natural thing based on scarcity. There's so many resources on the planet at a particular place at a particular time. As we've evolved as a species, if that's the theory that you accept,
Okay, so if killing is a natural thing to you, that means your life is in danger. Your family life is in danger. And that's called,
according to the scriptures, it is
wait,
as well.
one second, that's called anarchy. So how can you bring peace or hope to that kind of society when you have anarchy, when anybody can kill you just because they feel like that? You have to apply a law.
have to have a
so
law
even
as
the
a
law
base.
I didn't
itself,
say you didn't.
no, that's what
I'm
I'm
not saying
saying.
you didn't. I'm just
You said
differentiating.
you said it's inefficient, right?
I'm saying to put the law in a book is inefficient. Only let me finish. Only something that's all powerful and all intelligent. That's what I'm trying to say.
But you know, this is just one support.
To human beings that aren't that smart, then it makes sense. But to something that knows everything, to me alone, I don't know everything, and I would put it in your head. I'd put it in everyone's head right now, and I would say, I am the Lord's, this is the rules you need to follow. It's in your head.
Brother, I
Or
like
in
the
your
word-
mobile phone or whatever.
Brother, I like the words you're using because to know, knowledge means to know, right? So if you a dad, right, and you have children, and your children goes wrong, and you teach them how to do right, for them to be able to teach their next generation, they will have to put down what dad taught them. So meaning that even in this country, right, when they want to judge you, they judge you from the book.
Okay.
So imagine we don't have a book in this country where they can judge a man. You won't have judges, you won't have police, you won't have court of law. So God, in fact, man copied God to write things in the book.
Man copied God.
Yeah.
How do you study law?
Huh?
How do you study law in this country?
You go through a book.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you
Science,
don't.
you go
No,
through
no.
a book.
Yeah, no.
So if you, the difference between knowledge and wisdom is that somebody will just, if you have knowledge, you just know. Knowledge just means to know. But wisdom means to know by experience.
The utilization of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
know.
So
I
if you
understand.
know him by experience, it's just like if you go into a lab, you mix chemical together. You have to write into book to the next class coming out. Look, I've gone through this stage, so you don't need to waste your time. Start to think, start to cross.
So you're explaining to me the benefits of writing things down.
Yes,
Is that what you say?
Yeah, mathematical stuff is right here in the
That's
book.
great.
but
But
also-
that's great. Let me just respond to that. That's great. But you're talking about human beings which are omnipotent. Is that correct?
Human being?
Yeah, you're talking. Are you talking about human beings or are you talking about God?
No, I'm talking about human beings.
Right. So are we omnipotent?
No, we're not. But
Are we omniscient?
when you say omni,
So
But the reason why we have this support of a book, for example, which is one of the many ways we have inherited our laws, is because we deal with human beings.
yeah, of course,
Right?
of course.
We're not dealing with people that are omniscient and omnipotent. And
No, we
all
are
these
because
things, yeah?
what you're saying is
No,
the
the most
entity that's trying to help us, that's trying to lead us along this journey. Because here's the problem. Here's the problem. As a person growing up in this world, we're confronted with the Bible, the Quran, the Hindu book. We've got so many different pieces of information. How does a confused child that grows up in this world learn which path to take, right? And learn in a how are they sure that they're taking the right path?
Okay.
And what I'm trying to say to you is it's very difficult for somebody to come with a book that may not be rational, For them to, I mean, and if it is an almighty God that's omnipotent, what I'm trying to say is that God, surely, I'm assuming, would want to provide us with the information as efficiently as possible, unless that God is a bit.
No.
Playing games.
I mean,
Unless
I
that God's
get
playing
what
games.
you see, what you're saying, right?
I'm just being
But no,
real, man.
I mean, your question is valid, right? But
Like, is
the
God
book,
playing games?
the book, no. God doesn't play games. But the book itself is not separate from the culture. Today, they have separated the book from the culture of a certain particular people, right? And then they make the book being universal, but there's no a language of the universal spiritual following in here. The book is not a universal book. The book has been given to a certain people to follow. But due to us forsaking the law, that the Most High is punishing us, we were scattered.
Punishing us for doing what it told us to do in the first.
No, he didn't tell us to forsake the law. It asked us
You
to.
read out a passage earlier that said, I am good and I'm evil.
No, but he asked us to follow, right?
Evil as well. God asked us to follow evil, right?
Okay, Deuteronomy 30 and
Like, I
19.
remember the story with Job and things. That was some. That story with
No,
Job
but
was crazy.
the story of Job as well, people don't
Where
understand
God
it,
and the
but-
devil are working together.
But the devil
Created by
gets
God.
his commandments from God. The
Yeah,
devil
that's-
can't do
that's-
anything that God doesn't want him
So
to
that's
do.
even more. That's like a paedophile working for God or something. Or,
No.
or a rapist
But
working for God.
let me tell you this, yeah? Deuteronomy 13 and 19. That's Moses speaking, yeah? I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed, your children, yeah, may live. Right, so the Most High is
Leave
us-
or live?
Live. Like live as in Live.
Oh, live,
right?
yeah.
So the Most High is asking us to choose the righteous path to live, right?
Yeah.
And also the transmission of the law, yeah, in our culture. Of course, it was written as to preserve the law, but it was given orally from the mother, from the father to teach the children, right?
Okay.
And also what we did,
From
for example,
what to the father? From the.
no, from the mother and the fathers to teach the children, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
And also from the Hebrew nations within the land of Africa today. For my ancestors, for example, we used to have an oral version of the Torah, right? And then create them into songs now, which was easier for my parents to learn.
Yeah. Where are you from, sorry? Where you
From Congo.
Congo.
Yeah, from the
respect.
Luba,
Respect.
right? So they used to make them into songs. So my mother would record certain songs which pertaining to segments of the
traditions
Torah.
and- yeah, okay.
And so in here you can find that in the Bible as well.
Okay.
Where Moses himself is applying that.
Yeah.
So Deuteronomy 31 and 30. Yeah? And Moses spake in the ears of the congregation of Israel the words of this song until they were ended. And if you read it, it just looks like he's talking, but it was actually songs, different bunch of songs, because you have different ways to record information.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Because you said before, the book, the way it's been done, it's been written, is almost inefficient according to your observation, right? But we have different ways of doing it. The reason why it's not working today, because the society today is wicked, and it doesn't allow a child,
As opposed to when?
as opposed to when we're supposed to be following the laws.
It's wicked now as opposed to when? When was it
As
not?
opposed to before.
When was it not wicked?
When we got into our lands, we were following the laws.
When we got into our lands, when was that?
After coming out of Egypt,
Coming out of Egypt, yeah.
after
so
coming
what?
out of Egypt,
So
yeah,
what?
we go into our land, and then we follow the law. We became wicked.
1600 BC or something?
Yeah, but I
that
can't give you
Around
the
about.
exact time.
So,
right?
so let's say Middle Kingdom or something, or New
Yeah.
Kingdom. So them times there, it were times of evil.
No. We had times of peace, and then times of evil, right? But the
What was
common
that times of peace and
the
times of
common denominator, yeah. Even during this King Solomon's reign, that was the time of peace, yeah.
What, all over the globe or just with
No,
Israelites?
his reign, yeah, in Israel, yeah, that was a time of peace within Israel, but also his fame went all across the area.
Which one, David or Solomon? Did you say?
Solomon went across all the area because he kind of like showed a certain wisdom that the Mosai gave him that was unprecedented.
Did Solomon conquer territories? I'm not aware.
No.
He just stayed in Israel, didn't expand.
No, Solomon wasn't conquered, right? But
So yeah, there's peacetime.
yeah. So we had peacetime, but the common denominator, yeah, is whenever we forsake the law, we go into madness. Other nations come in and do whatever
So
they
we
want
do
to
kind
do.
of have free will though. Because
Right?
I've heard the Israelites say that we have free will. You're
No,
one of the first man to come and say.
We don't have free will, but we have a choice, right? Maybe that's
the difference between free will and a
it
choice?
sounds maybe like
What's the
semantics,
difference between
right?
free will and a
Yeah.
free choice?
So you have a choice to choose, yeah.
Don't you have the will to choose either?
No, but free will, that means you can create your own path,
Okay.
yeah? But our path has been predestined already, yeah? Listen,
That's the part I don't
no,
get. How can you have both?
let me try explaining that. The Most High has an elect,
As what?
an elect, group of people that he's going to redeem in his end time, right? According to prophecies and what's been prophesied through the prophets in the Old
So
Testament.
he already has a list already.
Yeah, through the prophet that's been prophesied in the Old Testament, and through Yahushua, who the world called Jesus, yeah, and what's going to happen, we can see that today we are in the end time according to what's been written, right?
That's been said many
yeah,
times.
but
What would you say?
but-
What would you say the end time would be? Can you put a date on it?
No, I can never put a date because that would be going against the scriptures because no one knows. Even Jesus didn't know.
They don't know.
Yahushua didn't
So
know.
as you know, all right. So we're just near the end times.
Yeah. So we know that it's approaching fast, right?
Haven't they been saying that for like hundreds of years though?
Yeah, but it wasn't the same, right? Because now we're moving into, let's say, a big indicator, right? It's the chip, the mark of the beast. Yeah.
But that's
The
vague.
mark of
That's-
the
isn't
beast.
that vague?
The mark of the beast is quite precise because it
It's
says
what, sorry,
precise.
Oh, precise. Go on, then.
It says that the mark, when you take it, it allows you to buy or sell.
When you take it, it allows you to.
To buy. When you have the mark of the beast
Right.
in
Like
your
a credit card or
forehand,
something or
yeah,
whatever, okay.
in your forehand or in your forehead, it allows you to buy.
What's the actual words? What's the actual words when it says the mark?
Mark.
When it talks about that.
When it says mark, yeah, I believe
No,
it's
not
a,
just mark. What's
yeah.
the sentence or the paragraph when it explains about the mark of the beast?
It's a mark.
Because
of
I'm
the-
trying to work
yeah,
out how it can be interpreted.
Yeah, because I believe the word mark is a Greek word called karagma.
Believe or no?
Karagma.
Believe? Do you believe or no?
No, I know.
You know that the word mark means
It's
what?
karagma. In
Okay.
Greek. Yeah,
And that's
We
in-
make
that's in
it's
Hebrew?
imprint. No,
That's
the Revelation book was written in Greek.
In Greek,
Yeah, but well, I might be mistaken actually.
I think
But-
I think you're right.
yeah.
I think the earliest versions of the Bible were in Greek.
No,
Is it the Pentateuch or something?
the first few books of the Bible were written in Hebrew, and then written
Which
in
first
Greek.
few? The
But
canonical. Which one's the canonicals? The canonical gospels you're talking about. 'Cause
yeah.
So Matthew, Mark, Luke, John.
Yeah.
What you're talking about the 5 books of the Torah?
And then
as well?
and then the letters of Paul, these were written in Greek, etc.
Okay.
Right? Because it was writing for the Israelites who weren't speaking Hebrew at the time, but they were
can you-
scattered. Yeah.
Okay, here's
Let's
a,
go
here's,
to the mark of the beast.
here's a problem for me though. It's
Yeah.
just a problem. Maybe you can solve it. Much of the stuff that's come from Christianity, and this is what I like about Christianity, much of the stuff has come from somewhere else before. Yeah? Such as like the Trinity, which was
Yeah,
really,
that's Babylon.
which was
Yeah,
really
that's-
supposed
that's
to
in
be.
Babylon, yeah.
Well, to my understanding, that was the Catholic Church, but to my understanding also, that was they've replaced the mother with the Holy Ghost. So it used to be the mother, the Father, and the Son.
I mean, the Trinity, it's not a new concept. It wasn't even a Christian
That's what I'm
concept.
trying to
yeah?
say, that
So
it was-
Christianity was a religion based upon stealing
Messianism, it was called, right?
stealing notions of different religions
Right.
around, and then create a dogma around it. Because
Right.
the concept of Trinity, you can find it in ancient Egypt as well.
This is what
You
I'm
had-
trying to say.
You had
Osiris, Isis,
and Horus,
Osset,
yeah?
Asar, and Heru. Yeah.
And then you have Nimrod and Tammuz, etc.
Okay.
Yeah, and Semiramis.
So
right?
what I'm trying to say,
So-
I think the beauty is that they've all come from the same
But
source.
that is that's wickedness.
What's wickedness?
Because the Most High is one, the Creator is one. We are told the Yahweh Echad, Yahweh one, right? But we deviate
But
because
it
we
also
worship.
says Elohim as well.
No, Elohim are not to be worshipped, because
It says-
we are called Elohims as well.
So when it talks in Genesis about Elohim, it's talking about us.
No. But Elohims can mean gods.
So it's ambiguous. It
The
can
end. No, it's not ambiguous, but you have to take it into a particular context at the time, right?
Okay.
Because it can mean gods. It means a powerful person.
Yeah.
It means angel.
Yeah.
And it also means us,
Okay.
Israelites.
So you've just proved my
Israelites.
point. So you've just proved my point. Remember my point earlier about why would an omniscient, let's just focus on omniscient because that just means all-knowing or
Yeah.
all-intelligent. Why would an omniscient being or entity create a message that's so ambiguous
It's not ambiguous
that
anymore
takes
to us.
many different scholars to come together, argue and fight over the meanings, allow it to be reinterpreted and translated into different things. I'm just saying, why go?
But that's
easy, man.
why you need to understand the whole game, right? Not the game. I mean,
No, I get
the
you.
whole
I get you.
world,
The outcome kind
For
of thing.
2,000 years, these people had our books, but they never had the spirit to read through, to
Okay.
understand what's written in them. Yeah. Now that we're waking up to our identity, the Most High is giving us the spirit to understand what's written. Yeah, and also understanding context, because we have teachers, yeah, that have more knowledge than us that we understand through them. And
But
then
it
we
would
understand
help
through
if
teachers,
the
right?
Most High just contacted me directly and told me
The Most High did through men.
But if the Most High just told me, just came to me and told me directly,
No, you can't.
One-on-one.
You can't see the Most High like that.
well then it's flawed. Because,
No, but it's not.
all
It's
right,
not flawed.
How
But
many?
let's
Go on,
get
go
a
for
mark.
it.
Yeah, let's get a mark of the beast, right? So Revelation 13 and 16.
Warm, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Revelation 13 and 16. He caused yeah, Esau, both small, great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hands or in their foreheads.
Okay, this is that mark. Yeah.
And then if you go into the Greek, you didn't, let me get a dictionary, yeah?
So you're going into the end time thing, the mark of the beast.
Yeah, 'cause
you're sticking with that.
Right?
You're
No,
sticking with that.
that's one example. No, that's one example, right? Of
I'm just gonna brief this guy. He's basically my Hebrew Israelite brother, and he's basically trying to enlighten me as to the agenda and the journey of Yeshua in terms of telling the world what the message is and how we're supposed to wake up. So he was explaining to me about how it was free will, but it's not free will. Or no, yeah. I got confused at that. At the moment, he's showing me about
you asked-
signs
yeah, you asked-
and marks. Yeah, because what my main question is, I've asked this before. Why would an omniscient, you know what omniscient means? Why would something that's so intelligent of a being create a message that's so flawed and inefficient that's amongst many other false messages and not equip me with the tools to be able to interpret or decipher this information? Like, it's going to be increasingly difficult to me, never mind a child that grows up outside of the message, that then comes to the message. How are they supposed to be able to have the faculties to accept that message when there's so many different distractions? As human beings today, we know that the way to if you're going to push a message out now with social media, we know it's not through a book, right? But we're not omniscient. We're not all intelligent. But if you are all intelligent and all powerful, and you can put things in people's heads, why not just do that? This is just a question I'm asking. I've got to ask the question.
But
It's an excellent question.
we're gonna get there.
I would have given
But
you
if-
an answer, but let me finish.
So this is the mark of the beast at the moment.
Yeah. So you asked because you said many people have spoken before that they were at the end time, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not the
in
first time.
verity, it's not the first time,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But and then I told you that we with events that's happening around the world, we can see that we're coming into
those times based on
those
things
times,
that are
right?
given.
Based upon the prophecies.
Yeah.
Because the book is the Bible is the only book in the world that has prophecies of things still happening.
Muslims disagree with
no,
that.
no. Because
No, but you can't tell
But-
them unless you've read the Quran.
no,
You
but
can't tell them.
that's
You can't
Yeah,
make that.
no, but listen.
You can't make that
That's a
claim.
big statement. That is
I
a big
can make that
statement.
claim.
You can't make that claim.
I can make that
brother.
claim.
I might
No.
have to listen to you two
I
now
can
because
make that claim because
Not only me, like
but
many
let
other
me talk.
religions.
Let me talk.
I know.
I
I
can make the claim.
It's not even about Muslim
Yeah,
disagree with
this
it. You have
is
to understand
primary.
that
This is primary.
The Bible is a tradition of another people
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with
It's
the
got nothing to
Arabians.
do with them.
So two
They
different
came and took our
cultures.
stuff.
Arabians, Israelis, same
No,
shit.
no, no,
Potato,
we're not the same.
patata, cousins,
We're not
brothers.
the same.
Exactly. No, they come from the same
Tradition.
ancestor. at the
We're
end of
not the
day.
same. We're
Not
not
only
the same.
that, not only that, I was trying to tell them
No, no.
the
But
Bible.
let's
Bible's
not
a Bible.
deviate. Let's not deviate.
Bible is a way of
Answer me.
life
Yeah.
of a culture of
And
another
Samaria.
people.
About Samaria as well.
No,
The God
let's-
of Eden thing.
no, let's-
That's the Sumerian thing.
No,
You cannot
people
mix
don't even
Arabia
understand the
with,
God of
black.
Eden.
They're not the same
Yeah, I know,
culture.
because the serpent, ain't the serpent the one who was trying to save man?
The serpent wasn't even a serpent like a serpent. Adam and Eve
What
were
the
butt
Enki?
naked.
What the serpent
Yeah,
Enki?
they weren't the only two people on there.
yeah, the Bible
There was
says
many
that,
people
yeah,
in
yeah.
it. Yeah, so
So
people.
there wasn't Adam and Eve.
There was
there
many
there was
other
not
people
people.
around there.
was only
It
two
actually
people.
says that in the Bible.
No, there wasn't two people. There
How
was
many
many
people
people there.
Show me the verse in the Bible that says
I'll show you
Yeah,
later.
it does say that.
I'll show you later.
It
Yeah.
does say that.
I know,
But
innit?
I'll show
People
you
just
later.
don't read
I'll
it
show you.
properly.
People don't read it. But what I'm saying, yeah, Islam has got nothing to do with the Bible.
What are you talking
That's
about?
true.
Yeah,
It's got nothing to do with the Bible.
the Bible
Yeah, we're not
is
saying
a
that.
primary.
It got something to
No,
do with
listen.
Injil, though.
Yeah,
Injil.
we were just
No,
talking
but
about
that's the
prophecy.
yeah.
The
We
Injil.
talk
The
about
Bible,
prophecy.
we don't know about the Bible. Nothing to do with
Yeah,
the
we
Bible.
talk about
You know the
prophecy.
Injil? The Gospel of Jesus.
Yeah,
We
we'll
got
talk
to
about
do
it
with
later. Yeah,
No, okay.
because my battery's gonna die. Yeah. So Revelation 13, yeah, the mark of the
Go
beast,
on, I'm
right?
listening. I'm sorry, I'm listening.
And he caused all both small, great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a mark in the right hand and in the forehead, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? And here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 600, 6, right? And if you go into the Greek for the mark, right, to understand the nature of that terminology, right? Let's go into 16. It's charagma. I told you. Yeah, there it is. What does it say there? Charagma, right?
Yeah, correct.
What does it say here? Yeah. What is?
when was
Hold
that
on. Hold on.
Yeah, and
But
different,
let's
different
let's
languages
take
got
let's
different
yeah let's talk
numbers and stuff as well.
on topic here. Scratch etching.
I heard
that
about
is
616 myself.
scratch etching that is a stamp.
What's this?
Right?
What are you reading?
Charagma.
Oh, is that a book?
Charagma.
a book?
No, the mark. The word
I don't know
mark.
what Kragma means, so I don't know.
No, the word mark.
Oh, is Karagma.
The English word mark of the beast is a graven thing. It's a physical thing,
Okay.
right? And then
I
today,
agree with that.
when you look into when you look in your TV, yeah, every single week, whatever, there's always an announcement of people getting chipped.
Yeah, RFID
there's that
chips.
RFID things are replacing NFC of your phones and things like that, where people
what
are
they're doing. They're doing it to dogs
people
already.
That's not the mark of the beast.
people.
This is my problem.
Let me
People
finish.
interpret what they
Let me
want to
finish.
interpret.
Because you came
That's
in,
my
you came
problem.
in, you just came in.
It's actually my point.
Yeah, but
How is he going to know?
But how
do
am
me and him
I
know
supposed
this
to
guy?
give
How are
you
we going to know?
an understanding if I
Can I
can't?
talk for a minute?
If
Can I
I,
talk for a minute?
I've not finished it. I've not finished
Right,
it.
let him finish.
I'm going to lose this thought. I'm going to lose this thought. But go
It's
on.
fine. It's
Mention a
fine.
word, so I'll bring the
fine,
word
yeah?
back. Mention a word that will remind you.
It's fine.
It was the mark of the beast.
All right, chip in the children.
The chip today, a lot of people are having the chip on their hands.
On the what?
Hands.
Oh, hands.
Yeah? And also, Elon Musk and other scientists have started developing a chip that you can put in your brain. Yeah?
Do it for mobile phones.
And then so that's not too far-fetched
No, I get you.
to make that conclusion. And also the main goal of there was a British company that developed.
What's that got to do with 6?
Hold on. The British company developed some chips lately, actually, and they said that the governments and the banks were the primary contacts for those chips. Yeah, in order to implement that.
Yeah, we're with you with all this. We get all this. We know all this. But how's it connected? Number one, how is 666 connected to that enterprise, that technological enterprise?
So
I could give him an answer.
Hold on. Can I answer?
Your own interpretation.
Can I
It's
answer?
I know how 666 could work with it. But I want to know your. I want to know
Can
your.
I answer? Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, you have something in this world, whatever. It's pretty trivial, but a lot of people know about it. Like in your barcode, in the barcode, in a barcode, in every barcode you have 666. Okay. You can research that, yeah.
Okay, I will.
That's just one of them as well. But whoever gets the mark, whoever gets the mark will perish.
Whoever gets the mark will perish.
Right?
So how do you translate that to whoever gets the mark, to whoever gets the RFID?
Okay, let's read Zechariah.
I would have said 666 could have been carbon.
Yeah, let's read Zechariah, right? It shall come to pass in that land. Oh, sorry. Zechariah 13 and 9. It shall come to pass. From 8, yeah. From 8. It shall come to pass that in all the lands, saith the Lord, this is a future prophecy of what's going to happen.
That's what prophecy means, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the future.
2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd part shall be left therein. And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and we try them as gold is tried. And they shall call upon my name, they shall call on my name, and I will heal them. I will say, it is my people, and it shall say, the Lord is my power, my God, right? So the 2/3 in all the land will die. What is the 2/3 of 100?
2/3 of 100, 66, let's say.
66.6.
Like 66.6, okay, yeah.
This is how you can see,
Right.
because the mark of the beast, it's death.
Right, so that's proof.
This is prophecy, right? So you get precept to prove another precept, because that's an end time prophecy, yeah. And then those who won't get the mark, are the 1/3. The 1/3 won't get the mark.
Did it say 2/3 of 100?
No, because
Where are you getting 100
because
from?
you have a 2/3 and you have a 1/3.
Yeah, of what though?
Yeah,
Could
so
be
it's a free of.
Could have been of 100.
If-
Could have been of 150.
No, but you can be of anything. Of anything,
A circle
right?
is 360
Yeah,
degrees.
Okay,
from.
now
of anything.
100%, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 100%.
So it's 2/3 of 366, 166. Or
Yeah, but like
is
three
it
out,
yearable or noble?
three out of 3 is 100%. Is the value of 100%. Yeah. 2 out of 3.
Oh
is
no, I
six.
no, sorry. Yeah,
Do you
sorry,
understand?
sorry. My bad. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. So the 100
Percentage-wise,
is
yeah,
not.
sorry.
It's not just a random number. The 100 is just like a
it's
value.
saying
It's a
2/3
value.
would die.
Yeah, it's a value of the whole.
So what you're saying is, in one part it's saying the mark of the beast. Did it say anything about 666?
No, but that's how you connect the scriptures. Because
Okay, so it's saying
2/3
2/3
of
will
100,
die.
Percentage
And what's that got to do with the market? So the mark of the beast barcode will have 666.
yeah, but you
And
need
you're
to
connecting
you
those
need,
two.
you need to read what happened. Yeah?
Why couldn't you? So why not? You could even say that it might happen on the 6th day of the 6th month of the 6th year.
No, but that's what you're making up.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. How
No,
do I
but
know
we're
you're making
using
it
the
up?
scripture about the end time prophecy.
Yeah, but the scripture's
It's a
not really,
no,
the scripture's not saying.
it's about the end time.
The scripture is not saying anything about 666.
No,
It's
but
not.
it does clearly.
It does, bro.
Show me where it says it clearly.
Let's read it again.
Oh no, but you're
What-
telling me
what
about
time is
that's
it?
the
You can go
percentage
to, you can go
2/3.
to Revelation chapter 13 from 16 to 18.
I read 13.
And
I read
actually,
13.
and technically, 66.
did.
And technically, it's not 66.6. It's some extra decimal.
What about
Yeah, but
approximation?
So
it
there's
goes
more
into
numbers on
6.
there.
No, what about approximation?
It goes to 6.
There you
The
go.
So
approximation
why
goes
is
to
it 666.6?
Yes, because it's 6
Yeah, what
is
about
not
It's not
to 6.
clean cut. It's
right?
not clean cut. No, all I'm saying is just a bit too far.
No,
Give
but
me
it's
some more evidence. Give me
it's
some more
not
evidence.
it's not
You
it's
still
not
haven't
far-fetched.
answered my question about.
Brother,
You still haven't answered
can I
mine.
answer something, brother? Do you know maths?
Am I into maths?
Are you into maths?
Yeah, maths is all.
Okay,
maths
now,
is
now
something we need,
when
man.
you plus 66.66%,
Yeah.
and you plus it by 33.33%, do you get 100% there?
Yeah. Once you put
No,
the.
you don't get 100% there. You get 99.99.
Okay, yeah.
You have 0.1 left.
Okay,
Now,
so-
when you do approximation with 66.66%, the last 6 return to 5, and you have the last 6 which is more than 5. If it's 5 or more than 5, it becomes 1, right? If you plus that 1 on top, then you have 66.7%.
Okay.
Now, if you have 66.7% with 33.33%, you get 100%.
Okay, hold on. Now show me your evidence. Hold on. Now
That's
show
how
me.
you calculate, bro.
It's a
So-
value
so-
of-
It is accurate. It's just that you cannot process it quickly, but it is accurate.
Well,
I get
brother,
you.
and
So
it's
let me ask you a question based on what you just said. After all that, show me your evidence that's related to a particular day, a judgment day of destruction.
No, in fact, the question you should be asking that why are those 66?
No, I'm just asking.
No, but
because
the
you two are presenting to me that these are connected. You've done some
It is
maths.
connected.
You've
You
done
know it's
some, so
connected.
now show me the
Now,
evidence.
okay, can I
it's
say
a
this?
prophecy of the end
Brother,
time.
brother,
Yeah, no, but
The
how?
mark of the
but I
beast
need- but
is a
people need to be
prophecy
convinced. Because if
of
this is
the
real,
end time,
I
right?
need to
Amos
tell
9:10.
people. If this
Because
is
you
real,
will
I
see
need
why
to
they're
tell
getting
people.
destroyed. Amos 9:10 will tell you why they have to be destroyed.
That's not evidence.
It's an evidence, brother. If you want to kill somebody, they
You
have to.
can't make it up.
Brother,
We have to read
Are
the
you
scripture.
saying that people don't misinterpret things?
No,
No,
they
we
don't,
have to
because
read the
Christians will
scripture
support why
as
they're
it
even
is.
getting killed.
Yeah? We have to read the scripture as it is.
You're actually
Right?
reading it in a different
Amos
language still.
9:10. Amos,
What do you
brother,
mean?
You read
why,
it in different language,
brother,
not
why
reading
would
it
God
as it is.
destroy?
No, we read it as it is, as it's written.
Excuse me,
That
can
was
I
how
ask
it
a
was
question?
written. By who? Who was it written like that by?
Can I
No,
ask
but
a
that's
question,
true.
brother?
That's
Brother,
true.
No. Who wrote
We,
the Bible?
I speak a language that's foreign to me.
Okay.
So would you say that I'm not talking as I should be?
Let's follow a line
But
of
that's
logic.
trivial. That's trivial.
Who wrote the Bible?
Our ancestors.
Answers
True
the
inspiration.
Hebrew Israelites.
Right. Is the Bible one book?
It's a Bible itself, yeah. It's called Behaviour. It's Behaviour, yeah.
Compilation of books.
Exactly.
Compilation
So
of books.
it answers itself the
So
question.
our ancestors, as you say, wrote these different
Yeah.
gospel books, yeah?
What do you mean gospel books?
Well, each book is a gospel, right? I thought that was the name of it.
Gospel,
it's
brother,
gospel
gospel
just
is two
good
things,
news,
right?
Good news, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Gospel is good news. The principal gospel came in
what
with
would you call them?
Yahweh
Just call them book then?
Just
Is that what
books,
you call
yeah.
them? Okay, so
and the Torah, yeah, it's the laws.
so
You had the law,
so
you had the writings
so
of the
our
prophets
ancestors
and the letters.
So our ancestors wrote each one of these books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but you have to understand that they didn't just write it. God gave them inspiration to write it. I
See, now you're making wild claims.
No,
man.
it's
brother,
not wild.
brother,
No, it is.
It's
I'm
not
just
wild
being, I'm just
because
being
we are
honest.
spiritual
I
people.
can lie to you if you
Brother,
want
it's
to
no,
say
but the-
it-
brother,
that's
it's not
sounds
No,
cool.
no.
Brother, it's
We
not spiritual.
listen.
just gonna ask
Our
the question.
ancestors,
You're not
our
spiritual,
ancestors, yeah. Before we got this
Where you going now?
Greco-Roman, Idumean culture today, yeah, we were spiritual people, yeah. When we fled into the land that is called Africa today, yeah, we built kingdoms there, yeah. Our kingdoms wasn't separated from the spiritual set and the spiritual belief in the Most High, in one true God, because the difference between the Hebrews in the land and the Hamites is that the Hebrews had one God, one creator.
So the
Yeah.
Shemites and the Hamites.
The Hamites had all the many different gods within their pantheon.
Okay.
Right? And then we were dealing with things in the spiritual realm. When slavery happened, they took some of our brothers across the
You mean the
across sea.
transatlantic slavery?
Yeah.
Because there's loads of
And
types
then,
of slavery.
yeah, transatlantic slavery and then sub-Saharan Arab slavery.
Been
yeah.
to slavery 7 times.
We've been to slavery so many times, yeah.
Yeah, but many
within,
other people
no,
have been
but
to
within
slavery
that
as well.
land, yeah, within
No,
that
but
land,
not in the
yeah,
way we went.
within that land,
Oh, not that different. The only difference
No.
was racial. That was
no,
the
no,
only
no.
difference.
Within the land of Africa, yeah, that's called today Africa. We were dealing with spirituality, which is something that we lost, and then that's why it was easier to bash Christianity into us that's got nothing to do with spirituality, but like a Babylonian European worship. Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's the reason why you are more drawn towards rational thinking without even connecting to who you came from.
No, I'd
Where
say
your ancestors came from. Your ancestors used to read the books and understand things in a spiritual way.
Well, all right, what does spiritual mean? What does spiritual mean?
It's spiritual. It's not dealing with things on a sort of like on a basic, sort of like a rational.
So spiritual is not rational. I kind of agree.
Spiritual is beyond rational.
Beyond rational.
Because you
Give me an example of
with
something
with
that's
with
beyond
the
rational.
rational thing, you can explain it to someone, right? You can explain your thinking. You can explain how things are made
I'll
and
agree
things
with
like
that.
that. Yeah. But in spirituality, you get a revelation of how things are made, and then that revelation is not rational thinking.
Do you get revelations?
It's above rational.
Do you get revelations in rational as well?
You get revelation to arrive to use rational to arrive at certain point.
Revelations just means
Yeah.
things are revealed. That's what it means.
No.
Revelation
When
means
you
to
deal
reveal.
with the scripture, yeah.
Okay.
Revelation is the Most High can give you an understanding of a certain
So
thing.
let's stick on that point.
He can use different ways of
So
doing
let's
it.
stick on
Yeah?
that point. So
He
let's
can
stick-
use dreams. He can use a prophet.
Okay.
He can use many different ways. He
Okay.
can use his spirit.
Okay. So can I ask you a question so you can help me to
What you
understand?
just said now, you can use John 3:8. John 3:8 tells you that you don't know the way of the Spirit.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
read it. Let's read it.
Because when he's talking
Wherever you
about-
go, I'm going to ask you for evidence that you can connect that to either the Most High.
Yeah, we can connect a look.
Let's read
John
it.
3:8 will tell you.
I'll start from 6.
But while he's doing that, can you show me evidence for a Most High?
Okay. But
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can show you.
Go for it. We'll tell me
hold
that.
on. No, let's read this to illustrate. Yeah.
Okay.
John 3 and 6. That which is born of the flesh is flesh. That which is born of the spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I say unto thee, you must be born again. The wind bloweth where it's listed, and thou hearest the sounds thereof, but canst not tell whence he cometh, and whither it goes. So is everyone that is born of the Spirit.
What is the Spirit? What's the Spirit?
You have
Romans
you have a spirit.
I don't know what spirit is. You have to
and
tell
then
me.
and then you have a flesh.
Romans 7:14.
Oh, okay. Let's see if this helps you to understand what a spirit is.
Yeah, well, let's see what
I don't know what a spirit
You have
is.
to understand that man has laws, right? But God has laws too, even before he created man.
I get you.
So put that into consideration, you understand.
I get you, but until you've shown me that there is a God
I will show you there's a God.
that's separate from nature, and I'm not saying it don't exist. Don't get me wrong, please. I'm not saying that God don't exist.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm saying, can you show
show
me,
you
since you're making the claim,
Yeah.
that God exists, because I have no evidence
So you
for it.
believe in nature, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my closest thing to what God is. That's my God, because I can see it, I can feel it, I can experience it. Yeah. In fact, energy is the closest thing that I can think of to a God, because it's the only thing that's omni all these things, omnipowerful, all knowledge, all present everywhere. It's the thing. But if anyone can show me the existence of something, then that'd be great. That'd be splendid. You gotta go.
Just like
Maybe what? Yeah, are
I
you
have
gonna
a-
go
I
now?
have an
Yeah.
emergency right now.
All right,
But
bless, man. Do your
let's
thing.
carry on next week.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, do you thing.
Yeah, next
Well,
week.
yeah,
We'll
we'll
carry
meet next
on,
week. And hopefully you'll be able to show me the evidence for spirit.
And I will show you. I'm staying.
What, are you gonna go as well? You
Yeah.
stay?
No, I don't go on camera, but I can
Oh,
show
okay. No, you can tell me behind the scenes.
you. So,
So, what's this? Do you want to start
you
with
want
this?
to go too? Okay. When you talk about what the brother just said now, you have to understand that the way of God is not the way of man. Two different things. Man thinks carnally, God thinks spiritually. So what the brother was going to read to you, that when you say what is spirit, so this is spirit according to the Bible. This is the book of Romans chapter 7 verse 14. It says, for we know that the law is spiritual. Right? That means
We know that the Lord
the law
is
of God is
Oh, the
spiritual.
law of God.
Yeah, it is a
spiritual.
spiritual thing. So it is
Doesn't help me,
spiritually
yeah?
discerned. For example, it has to be spiritually discerned. That means somebody who is not connected to spirit, as you say, nature, for example.
Is
nature itself
is
is
nature
spirit as well.
and spirit the same thing?
I will connect it for you. I will show you that this law is actually nature. I'll show you.
Oh
So-
no, that's it. That was far enough. If you're saying that, are you saying God is nature?
God created nature. So if
So
He
you're
created,
saying God is not nature?
no, God is
is
nature
a creation
Himself.
of God.
Because you have to understand what nature means. Nature can also mean beings.
Beings.
Yeah, like
Yeah, of course it
we're a
means
being,
beings.
right?
Yeah, we're part of
so,
nature.
So you could say trees, they are part of nature as well.
Yeah.
As well as animals, flowers,
yeah,
they're all
yeah,
part of nature. Even matter is part of
No, I
nature.
get that part. I'm convinced there.
Okay.
So how do you connect to spirit and God?
Okay, so but when you go, don't forget that God is not dealing with physical trees. He's dealing with something which has more higher intelligence than trees and little dogs, which are humans. You understand what I mean? Because we are more higher in the mind.
Does it tell me what God is? I'm
No, I
confused.
will show you in a
I'm
minute,
lost.
brother.
Okay.
No, don't be lost. So, yes,
can't help it.
yes, I understand. Yes, it says, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal and sold under sin. That means I am carnal, I am sold, and that means I have the tendency of going off.
Did it say carnal?
Carnal. When you have the carnal, like a
That's physical, right?
yeah, physical. But carnal in this way means like, when people are thinking carnally, they're not thinking spiritually. Things are balanced in the life. Like, for example, you have right hand
So
and
you're
left
talking
hand.
about consciousness?
I'm talking about consciousness. That's
Why do you
it.
just say that?
No, because I don't use the word consciousness because spirit is about consciousness.
But you went around the houses when you have to use 3 words that are similar to what you're talking about.
No, I have to use the word that you can understand as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
So when you use consciousness, well, when you have life, it's conscious, right? When you have life, you're conscious. So I'm going to give you this, then I will go to nature. Okay. So because we have to understand that it's the spirit that brings you to life. Without the spirit, you cannot have consciousness.
Yeah, but you're telling me things that until you've shown me what a spirit is.
I will show you.
I can't. It's like me telling you about what the pink unicorn does, and I tell you how it brings milk and it does gold from its teeth. But I still haven't explained to you what a pink unicorn is, if it exists, and where the hell it is.
Okay, so
So start from the beginning.
okay, so
What is the spirit?
Okay, fine. Let me go back to the law, because we're talking about spirituality. It says, "For we know that the law is spiritual."
Now, spirituality is different to a spirit.
No, brother,
That's
but
a
no,
different
it's the
thing.
same thing, brother.
Really?
Wait, how can you get spirituality without the word spirit?
No, I
Have you
didn't,
ever heard about
I didn't say you can't write the
adjectives,
words.
verbs,
I'm not
verbs?
saying
So-
you can't write the word spirituality without a spirit. Or without the writing word spirit. What I'm saying to you is spirituality is kind of like a conscious understanding in some kind. It's like a subconscious, unconscious. You could call thought the thought process, that activity which is concerned with the cerebral cortex. You could consider that as consciousness or spirituality.
Okay.
That concerned in things without evidence.
Okay,
Or
fine.
I mean, there's so many ways, but that doesn't mean that's a spirit. To me, and remember, I don't know what spirit is, so
According to the Bible, the law or scriptures, the law is the spirit. And why
The law is
the
the
law
spirit.
is the spirituality?
So the law. So if I write a law, would that be a spirit as
No,
well?
because you're a carnal person, you cannot write a law.
So only a
only
God can
God can
write
write
a
the
law.
law.
Okay, so
but
now-
let me say this, because you said something that I really like. You're talking about spirituality and consciousness. They're all connected. For example, when you are conscious, you need a guideline to know how to run that consciousness. You understand what I mean? Because even tree, they have guideline how they grow from the ground. They have all the nutrients. All these are guidelines. So how does a apple tree knows that
like
he
a
has
program.
to? Yeah, it's like a program. How does an apple tree knows that he has to actually suck in
Genetic code.
the nutrients that will actually bring
Genetic
out
code.
apple and taste like apple?
It's called a
so
genetic
yeah,
code.
which is
Okay.
genetic code. So now the law is a code, and I'm going to show you because
I know the laws of code, but
yeah.
you still haven't shown me,
Yeah,
because you said God.
I
wrote
want to
the code.
connect the law with nature. That's what I'm about to do.
You're skipping around God.
I'm not
man.
skipping, no,
You
because
are.
brother, you will understand by the time I
said
get
the
to
law
the
is
end.
spirit.
But let me
I'm trying to understand.
let me finish. Earlier I told you that God created nature.
Yes.
Yeah, so let me connect how God created nature.
Don't you need to tell me what God is first?
No, brother, but this will
That's
let
back to the
brother,
pink unicorn,
brother,
man.
no. This
I need
will,
to tell you what the pink unicorn
but
is.
let me start from here, and I'm going to end there.
Let's try it. Let's try
You know,
it.
I don't want to
Let's
start from the beginning and end there, but
try
I
it.
want
Let
to
me
do
learn
the
some
other way
patience.
around.
Let me learn some patience.
But you will get it in the
Yeah, come
end.
on, go for
So
it.
I'm going to go for nature
That's very
now.
confident of you to say I'll get it, but let's go.
Yeah, you trust me, because you
Is your
believe in
conversion rate
nature,
very
right?
good? Yeah. Is your- you have a good conversion rate. Go on then.
Brother, yes, because with my brother, we talk about nature. I use the same scripture, and they say, "Wow, it actually makes sense." Because you have to know that nature itself has God's guidelines. Rain is nature. Rain knows when to rain. Sun knows knows when they come out. The moon has its time, you know.
It's not
Everything
that it
is
knows,
all.
but it's not that it knows. It's just natural processes that happen.
You say
Rain
natural,
doesn't know.
right?
Rain isn't conscious.
Yeah.
And thinking now it's time to drop.
Okay, rain is conscious when it comes to combustion in the cloud.
Rain is conscious.
When it comes to combustion in the cloud, you have to understand the spiritual guideline of all these things that we're calling
when
rain.
it's combusting.
Combustion. You know, you have for a rain to
That's
fall.
an explosion, right?
Yeah, that goes in. Not like
does rain
in
explode?
not like in the engine. We're talking about when you have a thick cloud. There's a combustion they call lightning that goes in that we don't see with our eyes.
That's not really okay. You do understand that rain is
Do you
just
know how lightning
water
works?
particles, right?
Yeah?
Rain is just the clouds, which are water particles.
Yeah, but before it gets to cloud, how did you have clouds full of rain?
It condensed. What's the
Through evaporation.
It distilled itself.
But before what distill is the sun.
So that again,
Yeah,
the
so
heat,
then you get
that's right.
evaporation. So when it goes evaporation, when the cloud is full, it's thick.
But where's the consciousness in there?
I will show you, brother. I will show you that all these things have guideline. Without guideline, they can't rain.
None of these things have neurological links.
Okay, why is it that when it's so hot in summer, all of a sudden it rains? Why is that?
Why is it when it's hot in summer,
Yeah,
all of a sudden it rains?
That
That question sounds weird. Why
it's not
is
weird
it?
because there's a
Let me
guideline for
repeat it
nature.
again. Why is it that when it's hot in summer, all of a sudden it rains?
Yeah.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. That's a
Fine.
bad question to
Yeah,
ask.
no, it's not a bad question, brother. You know,
That's a mad question.
a few months ago, it was so hot that people were actually taking their shirt off in the train and everything.
That's not what you said, though.
No. But I'm trying to give you an example, analogy
Alright.
that happens.
I'm confusing the situation. Don't listen to me. You just continue.
Okay, let me continue
Yeah,
with
you
this.
continue with
Okay,
it.
this is Romans 1. I want to go with nature and spirit and the law. These three are all connected. And you will see the connecting factors here as well. This is Romans 1, 24. Let me start from 23. What did you say?
No, I was because I know what you was referring to when you was talking about when it's hot, how the water particles then start to drop based on the. In fact, no, they'll start to
When
rise
it's
at
so
that point.
hot,
And then when it cools down, they'll start
when
to
it's so
drop.
hot, you can go and do your research. When
What's
it's
that
so
gonna-
hot,
I was going to say, what's that going to do with consciousness?
but wow, I'm trying to tell you that everything you see around you, they're all consciousness. That means they are directed with a guideline.
I believe in the consciousness of the
which
planet,
is nature.
but that's not the same consciousness as our consciousness. And if you're saying that's what God is,
God created everything.
because that's my God at the moment, nature.
Okay.
So that collective symbiotic consciousness of the planet, I'm happy with that. But how is that what you're talking about, or are you saying it's a separate entity that created?
No.
all that?
I'm talking about what you are talking about, but I'm going a bit deeper as well.
No, didn't you
Because
say,
when I go
didn't you
deeper,
say
then
your
it connects
God
to
created
God.
my God though?
No. What I'm
My God's nature.
Your God is nature, but I want to show you according to the Bible, who put that nature there. That's
Yeah,
what I'm about
so
to do, right?
You're
If you
gonna
allow
show
me to
your
do
God
that.
made my God.
You see, no, you say your God is nature, right?
So far, that's what I understand.
Of course, you say you can see the trees and those are nature,
Yeah.
right? But what you forgot is that there's something that actually like a timer in them that gives them a guideline.
That's what I forgot.
Okay,
There's something to give
so
them a guideline, the program, a genetic code.
just an example. For example, do you know how bones are grown in the womb of a woman?
Do I know how what?
Or bones are grown in the womb
Bones.
of a woman when they're pregnant?
Do I know how they grow?
Yeah.
No, I don't know how.
There you
I
go.
couldn't exactly say.
So there you go. So you have to understand
There I go
that fetches you see
There I
the
go
baby.
what?
Wait 1 second, brother. So because that baby you see as well is in nature, right?
Yeah.
So but then when that little cell, right, it goes, it comes to
develops,
life.
it
The
splits,
chromosomes, they come to life, split, and it becomes embryo. From there, it becomes a baby, right?
Okay, so you're explaining
So
nature.
that's also nature in the woman's womb,
Yeah, this is my
right?
God we're dealing with.
Skeletons,
This
right?
is my God we're dealing
If
with.
I'm not
still
going to
waiting for
show
your
you,
gods.
yeah, but if you give me the time, I'm not going to show you how all these things are connected. Okay? Because
Connected to your God.
No, connected
Which
to
is
each other
separate
and
to
connected to
nature.
the God. I would say they're not separate. I will show you.
They're not
Is
separate.
Is consciousness separate?
We don't believe in the same
Brother,
thing.
once
then.
again, no, I will show you how they all
I'm-
lead to God.
I'm confused.
Brother, if you
I
give
don't
me
know
the
what's
time,
going on.
brother, yeah, I know you don't
Okay.
know right now, but I'm going to connect you,
Come
right?
on then, 'cause I'm getting
so,
confused now.
okay, now it says, this is the book of Romans chapter 1, verse 22. Let me start from 23. It says, no, let me start from 22. It says, professing themselves to be wise, they become fools, right? It says they change the glory of the uncorruptible God into image made like to corruptible man, and Sorry, 1 second.
You take your time.
Yeah. I should have started at 20. It's about creation. Okay?
Okay.
Because we're talking about all
we're talking
nature's
about
creation.
creation,
It says, let me start 19. It says, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has showed it unto them. For the invisible thing of him, so invisible thing of him, right?
Invisible thing.
Invisible things,
Things, okay.
yeah, of him from creation of the world are clearly seen. Nature is clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. These things are all made.
Okay.
No. Just I know
I'm
you
listening.
understand your own way, but when you see
I'm
made,
trying to listen to you.
yeah,
Don't worry about
okay,
me.
fine.
I'm just trying to. You concentrate on.
Okay,
explaining.
it says, for the invisible things of him from creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and foolish hearts were darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie. Now, we know that nature is truth, meaning that if you grow a seed, it's going to bring you forth food, right? So, who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worship and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause, God gave them up to vile affection, for even their women are from nature too, right? Their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. So what is the natural use of a woman?
Break down what you just said.
Yeah. So all this thing I'm saying that, for example, people in the world, for example, when they see things, they will say, "Oh, this thing just came out itself." Yeah. Nobody
For
put
example,
it there.
give me an example.
Let's say, for example,
'Cause I don't know what. I don't
no.
know what the hell
I
that's
just want to
saying.
give. You say I should give you an example. I'm
Yeah,
just looking
yeah.
for a good example to give you.
That baffled me.
Evolutionist.
Evolutionist or evolution?
Evolutionists. What do they say about nature?
What do they say about nature? They just say that evolution just means change.
Yeah.
And they're basically saying that one thing changes
To another.
over time into a
So,
something
but
else
yet they
based on
can-
adaptation.
Yeah, based on adaptation. For example, they will say
theory of
they will say a monkey change to a man and become a
No,
man.
that's not what they say.
No. I'm just giving you an example that this
Okay.
are the kind of things they say.
So let's just say one organism changes into. It doesn't change into another. It just changes in form and shape.
So, but what they say, for example, like the guys who come here, evolutionists who come here, they will say, monkey change to a man that we used
Let's
to
say
be
monkey
monkeys.
change. No, that's not what it's saying. Let's
So
say
no, I
that's
mean
what
they
it's
say
saying.
that. I'm not saying
No,
you say.
nobody says monkey change.
No,
into
I've
nobody.
listened to them in this place. Yeah, in this.
Well,
in this-
I know say monkey
because they
to
give
a
us an example that, for example, monkey change to a man.
Okay. Let's say that's what they said.
Okay, so
What's that got to do with
so
this?
they always give you all these things that they can see, but they can't explain how it became to be. You understand? That's what this is
What do you
trying to
mean?
say.
I don't get what you're saying.
For example, what I just read now is that men say things that they can't prove, like, monkey
man
change to
chat
man.
shit.
Yeah,
man chat
that's
shit
what
all
I'm
the
trying.
time.
That's what this is saying.
Yeah, you have
So-
to just say it like that.
Yeah,
Man
that's what I'm
man
saying.
talk shit. Just
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
You don't have to
So,
use
yeah.
that language, but just
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine
men lie
with me.
or men say things without evidence.
That's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So
So
what's the
so
next
they
step?
don't actually see that somebody put it there, which is higher than this bin. So it now says, for this cause God gave them up to a vile affection, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. For example, if you see women now, they want to be man.
Women want to be men.
Yeah. So
Okay.
they change their natural use, and the first natural use of a woman is to give birth and make and populate the.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know,
Some
that's
women
the
want to
first
be
natural
men and have
use.
surgery and take out the wombs and stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
So in that sense, so human, they change themselves into something else.
Okay.
For example, tree. For example, when you plant a tree, you expect him to give you fruit so you can eat and survive, right? So that's nature too. So, but
You can change nature as well.
yeah,
can't you?
exactly. So then it now says, and likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, natural, to sleep with a woman and bring forth kids. Okay, so you living the natural use of a woman, burn in their laws one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meet. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, because again, can we say that nature is about knowing, right?
Is
Nature is knowledge, yeah.
Not
Nature is
necessarily,
knowledge,
but you can know about knowledge.
yeah.
Nature doesn't equally mean knowledge.
No, what I'm saying that you know that nature exists, knowledge, you have the knowledge, and So it says, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. So it says, being filled with unrighteousness, fornication, nakedness, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, and full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, and whisper. Now, what I've read now is just to show you that God gave nature a guideline. So I want to go and show you something which is natural in the law.
Hold on, you're supposed to be showing me what God is.
Yeah, that's what I'm showing you. Now we've established that God created nature according to the Bible. I know you might not believe.
You haven't explained that God
No,
made
but I'm
nature,
coming there.
because you haven't explained what God is.
Eh? But I'm coming there. I'm coming there.
Explained nothing of the sort.
Okay, fine, brother. You know, nature you see, I
keep
told you.
skipping.
One second, brother.
I'm gonna pull you on it.
No, fine. Okay, fine. You can do that, but I've not finished though. You can put me on halfway,
you
that's
have
fine.
finished.
But so, if you look at nature again, nature have guideline. So what is the guideline when you have a woman? Why do you marry a woman? What's her duty? First thing.
Reproduction, let's just say that.
Thank you.
So nature has processes. What about it? What's that got to do with God?
Okay, now, when you created those beings, those children, do you give them guideline in your home?
Do you give them guidelines?
Yeah, your children at home, do you give them
In the
guidelines?
so you're talking about the genetic.
No, in general,
information.
once they come to life and they're growing up, do you give them guideline they have to follow
You
at
said
home?
nature has guidelines and trees have guidelines, so that's your genetic code.
Yeah, I know.
Do you give children genetic guidelines in that respect?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about genetic
Are you
guidelines.
talking about a different type of
I'm
guideline?
talking about
Now
social
you're-
guideline.
So now you're talking a different type of guideline. So you
Yeah.
need to specify
Yeah.
the differentiation between the guideline of natural things that don't have cerebral cortexes and the cerebral guidelines that you're talking about through vocabulary and passing on information.
But don't forget that men too are nature. This is why I'm coming to man. I'm more focused on man. I want to connect the law of
Are you asking
God.
me if human beings pass on stuff?
Like
to
for example, if I have children, I tell them, I'm your dad. These are the things you do at home. Sweep the floor,
Okay.
make your bed
The answer
nice.
is obviously yes.
So you give them. So yes. So
Yeah.
children are nature, and you give them guideline. Why do you?
No, nature you don't give no guidelines to. They automatically have a guideline.
But children are
hold
nature.
on, because you're conflating two different things. The guidelines of nature and the guidelines that you talked about adults giving their children are two completely different things.
Okay. Fine.
Am I right? Am I misunderstood?
No,
or is that,
I think
or
you
am I
misunderstood
right?
me a little bit, because what I'm trying to say, I went
so-
into all nature, then I bring man and woman out of that, because man and woman are part of nature.
No, you brought men and women into that.
No, yeah, the reason why they're part of nature, right?
Yes.
So thank you. So if man and woman are part of
welcome.
nature, thank you. So if man and woman are part of nature and they're on the right path, they marry each other, not trying to defy themselves. Now they are part of nature,
Listen, marriage has
and
got-
they bring.
marriage
Let
has
me
got
finish.
nothing to do with
No,
nature.
but bro, I'm not talking about marriage,
Reproduction is
brother.
nothing with nature.
But I'm talking about sex. Is
Yeah,
marriage to
that's
me.
not-
So
well,
not
to
when
you-
you go to a room and you have
But
a
this is
hall,
why
you
you
rent and you make
this
cake.
is-
But let me
let me
finish,
just-
though,
let me just
brother.
let
Let
you
me
know, but
finish,
this is why it's
brother.
confusing.
Let me finish.
Oh, you can continue. I'm just letting you
But
know
let me
it's
finish.
confusing. What
But
you're
it's not confusing if you understand. I'm not talking about
using language that doesn't work.
that you don't understand. I get that. But I'm
Yeah,
going to
it's
come
like
back.
I think it's like you're the one who understands what
Okay,
you're saying.
fine. I will get back. I'm just want to use analogy to get back
Okay.
on human.
Go on.
Because what the brother was talking about, laws are not written for animals. They're not written for trees. They're written for man. For example, law of this land is written for man. But I want to
Agreed.
show you that the law of God is actually part of nature, because human beings are nature. So this is why I went about nature, women, and men. This is what I just read.
So
So
hold on.
if they are part of nature, do they need a guideline for their family to make sure that their family is together?
So let me get this straight. What
That's
you're
what
saying
I'm
is
trying to ask.
Nature is naturally runs by itself. It doesn't need no guidelines on how to live.
Yeah.
But you're saying human
But
beings
then there's-
need a guideline.
Thank you. So there's a nature, for example, trees cannot go off.
Can I ask you a question? You said human beings need a guideline. Why would you say that and not say that human beings use guidelines but don't necessarily need? Why do they need them?
Okay, the reason.
Let me put it another way. Human beings create cars. Do we need cars? Can we live without cars?
That's a completely different thing
No,
from what I'm
just
saying.
asking.
I get your logic.
So basically, laws are a form of technology.
Laws cannot be technology like that, brother. I
Laws
understand what you mean.
Technology is information applied.
Yeah, and law is information as well.
Applied.
But in what
applied
category?
as a tool.
In what
Laws
category?
are tools
But in what
to
category?
help us in
though?
our life. Are laws tools to help us in our life?
Brother, you have to separate what you're talking about. I'm talking about human. If I'm talking about technology, I'll come to technology. Technology also
laws
have... Brother,
are a
one
tool.
second. Let me finish, though. Let me finish,
Laws are a
brother.
tool.
Let me finish. What you're saying, I agree with you, but you're not dividing
You
the
have to
words.
agree, 'cause it's what you're saying.
No, brother, I don't have to agree.
It's
I don't
what
have
you're
to agree.
saying. You have to agree with yourself.
However, I'm not hypocrite. The reason why I agree with you is because I know there's law for technology. I'm not talking about
Say that again,
technology.
law for
I know
technology.
there are laws for technology.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay,
That's
fine.
not what I'm
But
saying.
I'm talking about human.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Technology don't steal, they don't rob, they don't kill, they don't rape. So put that aside. I'm talking about those who
about
have the
tools.
propensity, brother. I'm talking about those who have the propensity to steal, to kill, to rape, to murder.
Nature steals,
So
nature kills,
they
nature
happen,
robs, nature murders.
brother. They happen
it
to
not?
be part of nature,
No, I'm just saying, does nature still rob and murder?
brother.
I'm
But
just
I've not
asking.
finished. Trees don't steal from trees.
Huh?
You've never seen
But do-
apples
but do
stealing
dogs
from.
steal from dogs?
But we will come to
The
that.
squirrels steal
But
from
men
squirrels.
tame
The
dogs,
chimpanzees steal from
brother.
chimpanzees.
Men, why do men tame dogs?
Huh?
Why do men have lions in
You've
cage?
not answered.
No, I'm asking you a
All you
question.
had to say was, yeah, they do steal and rob
brother,
and kill.
brother,
as well.
does men tame dogs?
Yeah, we tame dogs.
Who tame men?
Who tames man?
Uh-huh.
Of a man.
So man have to be tamed by man, right?
Have to be.
That's what you say.
Actually,
If not, why do we have police?
let me answer them.
What's the job of police? To arrest those who break the law, right?
That's a man.
That's
taming
why
a man.
they enforce the law,
I just
right?
said men tame men. But you also have taming is kind of like conditioning. You have the animal kingdom or nature has tamed or conditioned men. Nature is a very powerful force that has tamed and conditioned human
Brother,
beings.
but look, let's
saying.
stop tap dancing
I'm
here.
just
But
saying.
what I'm trying, look, you went to technology, then you went to dog. But I'm focusing
this
on
is him
human.
explaining
Yeah,
God is to me.
I'm
You're supposed to explain
but,
who
but,
God is.
but you're not even letting me get the word out.
You're not getting no words out.
Okay, but no, you're not letting me get it out. I have a lot to say if you can allow me to at least bring some out. Let's leave animals and others because we tame animals. But when we go off, who tame us?
Do you want me to answer? I've answered this already. I'm going to say nobody tames us but ourselves and nature. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, brother,
Continue.
I'm going to prove you wrong that we get tamed by man. Man
I just
tame
said
man.
we tame ourselves.
Okay, so why does man need to tame man if man is natural like trees and they can make their own rules and their
Why
own law?
does man need to tame man?
Yeah.
We're at the top of the food chain.
Oh.
Apart from
Really?
nature, like I said, weather. Weather tames man. Weather conditions man, and you get tsunamis. You have tornadoes. That conditions and tames man,
Okay.
and kicks us up our ass
Okay.
from time to time.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're at the top of the food chain, so there's nothing that controls us. Tame/control.
Okay.
There's nothing at the top of us that can condition us, right? So what's your question?
Okay, so now you've used weather that tame man. If a man, have you ever seen a man that steals and is tamed by tornado?
I say that again.
Have you ever seen a man that steals and is got tamed by earthquake?
Have I ever seen a man that steals and
And
gets
get tamed by earthquake?
I've seen people who steal. Are you saying?
Because I'm trying to tell you that man need law.
Hold on.
You say man don't need law. I'm trying to show you, brother. Yes, Jesus.
What's the
I'm
connection?
trying, brother.
What's
one
the
second.
connection between
This is
these
it. I'm
things?
trying to come there because you. I think you know where I'm going, but you're blocking me
I
not to
got a
get
clue
there
where you're
because
going.
you just want to get your point. I see your point.
I haven't got a
I see your
clue where
point.
you're going.
I see your point. But now I'm gonna reinstate this. Men need law. Because we talked about earlier that when you use the word need, yes, man need law.
Man need
because
law.
if you don't have law, you have anarchy.
I
Right?
disagree.
Okay.
I disagree. I would say, I would just interchange the word law with, well, it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same thing.
You can't escape,
men
brother.
need. I'm not trying to escape. I'm trying to reason, even with myself. So if
yeah.
it works out that you're right, it works out that you're right. So I'm
Okay.
not trying to fight. I'm trying to let me work with you. Men need rules. Men need, but then hold on. But men break rules. So
There you
so
go.
do men, hold
What
on,
is
no,
a
no,
law?
no, no,
A law
no.
is a rule.
Men use rules. Let me work this out. Men use rules, right? Some men, every man has different rules because every country has different rules, right? We have different morals and morality. So Is there anybody without rules?
So, brother,
well,
you
hold on. Do dogs have rules then? I suppose dogs have rules because they have a pack life, and the chimpanzees have rules. Incest doesn't exist necessarily in the animal kingdom, so they have rules. They have laws.
Brother, look, we have to be...
I'm just
brother,
answering this
no,
question.
but let me answer then. If you're asking me, then let me answer.
No, but do you accept
Okay,
what I just
if
said?
you ask me a
Do
question,
you accept
then-
what I just said then?
Brother, I cannot
I'm
accept
trying to
what
be
you
honest.
just said because why? You're still not focusing on the fact that men actually are the ones that need laws more than animals. Brother,
that's not what I was saying.
but this is what I'm saying because when
you
you...
just don't like the fact that I've equated animals with having
No,
laws as
I
well.
love the fact, brother. Actually,
these aren't
brother,
written down,
I love
but
the
they have them
fact,
in their heads.
brother. I love the fact that you use that analogy because I use it too when it needs to be used.
Go for it then.
But
So where we going
what
from
I'm
now?
trying
Where
to
we
say
going
to
from
you is that men need laws more than animals need laws. But let me finish, brother. Because men have guns, men have arrows, men have machete. You understand me?
For a tiny part of history.
Brother, yes.
For a tiny part of history, we've
So
had this
dogs,
history.
you don't see dogs waging war to another country and bombing them. Men actually need laws. And this is what the laws of God does. God says, I can't steal from you if you're making money. God says, I can't rape your children, I can't rape your wife because they belong to you.
Hold on.
Wait, brother, let me finish. Every time I've been talking, if you go and watch your camera, you're always cutting me. Okay?
But hold on, wait.
You
Am
see?
I cutting you, but you're not cutting me?
No.
Are we cutting each other?
Because when you're
cutting
talking
each
about
other?
when you're
I'm
talking,
asking
okay,
you.
fine, yeah, I caught you a little bit, but you cut me many
let's
times.
not say it's
Okay,
one-sided, please.
but you spoken about the dogs. I listened to you, but this one I want you to know: the laws are part of nature. Animals have their own laws. I agree with you. You're right. I'm not gonna lie. Animals have their own path, as you said. Trees have their own path. If man is part of nature, why can't man have law? Man need law, brother. Because look at all these police there. They're there to enforce the law. Imagine if there's no law in this country. Your women, your children, they're not even safe. Right here, you're here, right now, anarchy is going on in your home. So we need laws. So before man start to write laws, right, it actually came from an oldest text like the Bible. Bible tells you that I cannot steal from you, you cannot rob me. That's a law. So that means everybody's on their own path. Like you said, dogs are on their own path as well. I agree with that. So we have to understand that when God says thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not, you shouldn't even do anything that will endanger your brother. Because love have to play in between you. Dogs, if they're fighting for meat, they don't remember love. But if you and I, we are fighting, we're trying to make ends meet, we have to remember, while doing that, we have to do it along on the path of love. I cannot just stab you right behind just because you want to make a little bit money than me. So where's the justice there? So if there's no law, you wouldn't even have court of laws, you wouldn't have judges, you wouldn't have lawyers. You wouldn't even have queens in there. She would be in danger every day.
Sorry, no, continue.
So I mean, I'm going to let you talk now. That's my point. That the Bible already here before. In fact, if you look at England here, if you go and do research right here, there used to be a time whereby you get fined if you commit adultery in England. That law came from the Bible. You have to understand in England that we're sitting on right now, the people who established the law, they're actually biblical people. So all those laws have actually spread out. If you look at Islam will always refer back to the Bible. Why is it that? Because the Bible gave righteous law that men must follow. This is why the law says the commandment is a lamp and the law is a light. If you have a light, if you and I always walk in light, we will never stumble. Because light also means love. So we will never stumble, we will never steal, we will never murder each other, we will never even be envious of each other. Well, you have a nice Mercedes, I have a little cool mini car there. I'm happy with what I have. You're happy with what you have. That's love, right? The day my car broke down, you probably want to give me a lift to work. That's also love. So animals don't do this, trees don't do this. So yes, man do need love. They need love in the Bible is actually to keep the commandment. Because if I remember I cannot kill you, I'm showing you love. Once I keep the commandment of God in the Bible, I'm showing you love. Because the Bible says, for this is the love of God, and the love of God is not grievous, that we keep his commandments. You see, that's what the Bible teaches us. So no nature can give you this law except there's a higher power than nature.
Right. I'll let you finish all that. What was my question?
No, brother, it's not even a question, it's a statement you made because, you're talking about animal.
What was my question?
Brother, you didn't actually ask me a question.
What evidence for?
About God. So I've actually
How
told
did you do that in that?
Brother, okay. Let me show you this.
Long-winded for
One second, brother.
You went through all that and didn't even
Just to explain to you, you have to understand, look, this is the laws of God. Because you have to
I don't
understand.
want to know the laws of God. I want you to show me the existence of God. Where's your evidence for God?
So I'm just asking you, if you say nature is God, right?
No, nature is my understanding of what God is.
Of what God
It's the
is.
only thing that I can see and I know there
So,
for sure.
yeah.
So I can show you evidence of God, of nature, right? And to my understanding, the only thing that's all present, all knowing, everywhere at once, right, all powerful is energy. That's
Okay.
the only thing I can think of.
So energy.
That's my
okay.
evidence. What's your evidence of a biblical God? Can you show me evidence that this entity created nature outside of nature, and that came to and is telling us to live by certain laws?
Okay, brother.
In a book,
Okay.
writing it in a
Okay.
book.
Without even going to the book, brother, I just asked you the reason why I have to differentiate the dogs, the trees, and put them all, and even technology have laws as well. Put them in their different perspectives, right? Is because I'm trying to show you that all these things don't write laws, right? Men need laws. So if we are part of nature, who writes our laws? This is what I'm asking you. Forget the trees, which is called nature is your God, but men are part of nature, right? Am I right? So who writes our own laws?
We write our laws.
So who are the we that write our laws?
Men, legislation.
Okay, fine.
Legislature.
Thank you.
Entities.
Okay.
So can you show me evidence for
Okay,
God?
now, when you look at the laws that runs in this country, what book did it come from?
The laws that came from this country.
Yeah.
It's a legislative. Laws are legislative.
What does it base?
rules.
What's the foundation of the law of this country?
What's the foundation?
Foundation, yeah.
What do you mean? Please more specific.
You know, like for example, people say England is not Saudi Arabia.
You
It's,
mean, what do we
it's a
base our
Christian
laws?
country, for example.
So what do we base on?
No, what's the foundation of the law of this country?
Well, Christianity, like you just said.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, but before Christianity,
Religion.
yeah, okay.
Morality,
Yeah, okay, morality. Thank you.
which is subjective depending on where you come from.
Well,
But there's
I agree with
different
you.
morals, different
100%,
stories
yeah.
and fairy tales. Right?
Yeah.
To me,
No, it's not fairy tales
No,
because. Okay.
This is my answer.
Okay. Yeah.
To me, everybody has different fairy tales.
Okay.
Show me.
I'm just fixing the mic.
Yeah.
Everybody has different fairy tales. Show me why your understanding is not a fairy tale.
So is the law fairy tales?
Is the law?
Yeah, is it fairy
What,
tales?
As in
The law of this
legislation?
country, yeah.
As in legislation?
Any law of any
no,
law.
it's not
Oh,
based on. It's
why
not
not?
based on mythology. It's not mythology
So no, why is the law of this country? Why is it not a fairy tale?
because it's not based on mythology.
Okay, now I'm not going to tell you that the Bible is not mythology.
Well, show me.
Yeah, no, bro, I will
what I'm
show you.
waiting
I will
for.
show
I've
you.
been waiting
I will
for
show you.
this.
Do you know the story of the Israelites
Yes,
that they went into slavery?
that's part of the story.
Okay.
Alleged. You have no evidence for it.
Okay, fine, brother. Who is?
It's a fairy- it's a
I will
fairy
show you,
tale.
brother. Yeah, I'm asking you a question because I'm about to give you an evidence. I want to ask you a question to the point that when I give you the evidence, it's undeniable.
Go for
That's
it.
what I'm about to
waiting.
do.
I want you
brother,
to give it to me. I want to
who
believe.
went into slavery in a shackle and a chain and in a ship?
Who went into slavery in a shackle?
What
and
race
chained
of
and
people?
slave?
What race of people?
What race?
Yes.
Or what people? full
No,
stop?
what race? Not everybody.
Many races.
Okay, tell me where Arabs went into slavery with a shackle and a chain.
I didn't say
and,
Arabs.
Okay.
But Arabs did as well.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Arabs did as well.
Okay, fine. Who were they taking? Who were the Arabs taking into slavery?
Who were the Arabs taking into slavery? They took many people into slavery.
Okay,
but
like
one of the
who?
people. You want me to say? You want me to say? Africans. Is that what you want me to say?
No. I'm not saying no.
What do you
I
want
want
to say,
you to answer.
black?
I want you to answer based on your knowledge. I want you to answer. I'm
The
not.
Arab slave trade consisted of all shades of colours.
Okay, thank you. So
From Caucasians,
Uh-huh.
or no, not Caucasians, from what we today call Caucasians, light-skinned people, white people, all the way to black people.
Okay.
The Arabs took many people. It was thousands of years. It was over
So if you
which included black people as well.
which include people who live in Africa,
Which
right?
included
So in
Africans
between.
taking Europeans into
Okay,
slavery.
okay. So at the time of slavery time, we don't have Suez Canal.
There's no such thing as slavery time. Slavery
No,
always
no,
exists.
okay, slavery.
So it's slavery
Okay,
time.
let me put a name on it. At the time of the Arab slave trade, right, there was no Suez Canal. That means you can walk from Egypt to Arabia and vice
what,
versa.
sorry?
There was no Suez Canal. You know, the Suez Canal.
Canal,
Yeah, there was you can walk in, and so they were taking slaves in Africa, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right now,
Taking slaves from
after the sub-Saharan slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade, what was the mode of transport?
What was the mode of transport? Ships over water.
Okay, fine.
Or some car on that.
Okay, so were those people who came, were they taking all people, or were they just taking
well,
particular
originally, yes. What people don't know about the American Atlantic slave trade is it started off as indentured servitude, and it included white people as well.
Okay.
Until such occasions like Bacon's Rebellion. Have you heard of Bacon's Rebellion? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in times of Bacon's Rebellion in the 1680s, they then began to exclusivize it and make it to where it was only black people.
Okay.
But it never started that way.
Okay. So, but I need you to show me evidence where the people who came from Europe, then which are so-called white people, when they were taking all races of people in west coast of Africa, I need you to
I
show
didn't
me
say they
that.
were taking all races from Africa.
Okay, sorry, maybe
I
I
said they were
misunderstood.
taking all people from everywhere. They took
So
Indians,
when you say all people,
they took Native Americans. They took themselves. The Irish, they enslaved the Irish.
Okay.
But they were indentured servants more
It's
time.
different
But
from
then-
chattel
but
slavery.
feudal, yeah, it's different to chattel slavery, which didn't exist at the beginning. But then technically, the Romans had chattel slavery.
Okay.
The Greeks had chattel slavery.
So if they were taking everybody,
we've always had chattel slavery.
brother, if they were taking everybody into slavery, why would they call it Atlantic slave trade? Because we know that the Atlantic is actually close to west coast of Africa, up to Congo Bantu, right? So why is it that they don't have another name for the India slave trade at this time, and they don't have one for the Irish? It doesn't exist, brother. Except if you want to make one up now, then I will need the evidence. The books I have read, this is my question. The books I have read, the Bible correlates with the Atlantic slave trade that happened about 400 years ago. That's my point, that this book has to be a living book. If not, that will not have happened. Because Atlantic, when you say, but let me finish though. When you say they took the Indians, they took the Irish, their own people, I need to see any slave transport that is called the Irish Atlantic slave trade. It doesn't exist, brother. I said you want to make one up.
I'm trying to work out how that helps you.
Because this is how it helps. When they took the when you want to talk about the Irish, they didn't shackle them. They didn't put chains on them. They didn't put them like a drum of rum in the sheep. What I'm trying to establish here that the Bible actually prophesied. If you go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, it says, "If people will be taken into slavery by sheep."
Let me help you.
No, don't help me yet. No, brother, I don't need help. If I need help, I'll give you a call.
No, I want to help you through because you know what?
No, let me finish. Let me finish, brother. Brother, let me.
Let's say,
brother, you said the book is a fairy tale. I want to show you that this book is actually a living book.
No, I'm saying you.
One second, brother.
I'm saying you show me why it's not based on.
Well, I will show you in a minute. Okay, this is the book of Deuteronomy because we have to show that the Bible is actually a history book. It's not a religious book. You see?
It's based on history. It has parts of history in it.
Then you also have laws. You have prophecies. You have future
What's that
stuff.
got to do with a God?
No, wait. Well, only a God can know the future. Do you know the future, brother? Accuracy.
I know some parts of the future.
Also, what part of the future can you know? What will happen to?
I'm going home tonight.
Okay, you're going home tonight.
Yeah.
Do you know if you will get home or not?
Do I know if I'll get home?
Yeah. Who determines that?
I know that I'm driving home. Someone's driving me home.
So have you seen people who go home, they have accident, they die?
Yes.
So how do you know you get home
I didn't say
today?
I do know that.
No, I'm just asking
I said
you.
I know some parts of the future.
So if you don't know you will
asked
get
me
home,
what parts, I told
okay,
you what
fine.
parts.
So if you don't know you will get home today, that means you know a God.
What did I say? I was a God.
So now there is a God in the Bible that knows the destination of black people in the
I think this is
future.
getting out of hand.
No, I'm not.
Let's both calm
Brother,
down.
you don't have point. That's why I say
Listen.
getting that.
No, it's
You
getting
don't
out
have
of
point,
hand
brother.
Because
You don't have points.
I'm
man.
saying that you need to show me evidence.
I'm
that there's
about
a
to show
God.
you now. This is Deuteronomy.
Listen to
Okay,
me.
go on.
I'm talking to you. I said to you, you need to show me evidence that there's a God. You just turned around to me now and told me that I'm not God.
Yeah, because
What
brother,
the hell is that gonna
brother,
do with
no,
anything?
let me tell you something that you don't really realize
Can
what
you
you're
give me
saying.
some evidence,
I'm gonna give you to evidence. Now, this is Deuteronomy. This is
I want
evidence.
to be a believer.
This
guy's not
brother,
basic.
look,
Huh?
brother.
I need to. I'm not God. I'm not God.
Oh, okay.
So that, if that helps your point, I'm not God.
So this is Deuteronomy. I'm gonna show you this, and you tell me who this fits, right? It says this Deuteronomy 28:68. It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with sheep.
Yeah, but shit.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold
Yeah.
unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen,
you
and no
shall
man
not
shall
be
buy
sold.
you.
Yep, no one should buy you.
So,
Let's say that's true. How does
brother, when you
let's
say,
that's
brother,
true.
thank you, that destroy
me
your
hear
whole
me.
argument. Because when you say, let's say that's
my
true,
argument?
yeah, well, because when
What's
you
my
say,
argument?
I'm trying to tell you that there's somebody
No.
that's above nature. That's
No, but what's
that's
my
your
argument? What's my argument?
Your argument that you believe in nature,
Yes.
right? And I tell you that there's somebody that's above that nature that you believe
No, but
in
what
as a
did I
God.
ask you to show me?
That if God exists,
Right. So how have you shown me that God existed?
this one I'm showing you.
Show me that there's
But let me
show
show
me there's
you.
a passage, you know. All you've
Yeah, no,
done
but
is
brother,
you showed me.
because
That's why
the
I'm gonna
passage,
do
because
Listen,
the
I'm going to humor you
passage.
now, and I'm going to say, let's say that's correct. Let's say that they bought people. You don't want to be on the camera.
No.
Oh, it's the light. It's the light. It's the light.
The light is
Let's say that that's what happens.
No, I don't want to be on camera.
Who's to say?
You can come this side.
Who's to say?
I'm famous.
Who's to say? Who's to say that God wrote or inspired that, and that a dude didn't just write that?
Okay, so God inspired this by giving revelation to.
Where's your evidence?
Brother, let me finish. You believe in history, right? Like for example, Syria is destroyed today, right? You believe in history. What if I tell you that it was prophesied thousands of years ago that Syria, Damascus, will become a ruinous place? Do you believe that? So these men are seeing the future. So these men are being revealed. They've been inspired by the Holy Spirit, and they've been shown the future, what will happen. Now, nature can't do that. Okay. Only a man can do that.
Can you show me evidence that they were inspired by the Holy Spirit?
I will show you in a minute.
And I need to know what the Holy Spirit is. That would be great.
Okay, fine. The Holy Spirit is the Spirit of God.
I need to know what these are, because he might be right.
No,
I'm not just going to believe you just because you say so.
Fine, but I'm going to give you more evidence. Okay, this is book of Isaiah, chapter 17, verse 1.
Specifics. He's giving me opinions.
It's no opinion, brother. I'm giving you something that was prophesied and has become history today.
Yeah, but I want to know evidence from
well,
God.
The slave trade, is it not an history today? Well, it's been prophesied thousands of years
That's
before.
got nothing to do with God. To my understanding.
Well, only a God can give you that kind of accuracy. Nature can't do that.
Show me that only a God can give me that kind of.
1 second, brother. You know,
I was getting cold. I'm getting cold now.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 17, verse 1. He said, this is about Damascus, thousands of years before it happened. He says, the burden of Damascus, behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city.
Okay.
Right? How is it going to be taken away, we tell you? And it shall be a ruinous heap, destroyed. So, is that a prophecy that's come out today? Yes or no?
I don't know. Let's say it's correct.
Brother, no, let's say it's correct,
show?
brother. Brother, you have to be honest with yourself. You and I know that Syria is destroyed today. There are millions of people who have left Syria. Damascus. Now, if you go and look at the image of the city of Damascus before and after, you will see that this prophecy is 100% accurate. So the point is that only a God can give you the accuracy. What you call nature is my God, like trees, like dogs. They can't give you that kind of accuracy.
How do you know they're not following? How have they got access to this information? The people who are destroying Syria.
No, they haven't got access. I mean, wait. 1 second. Repeat your question. Is it nature you're talking about?
They have access to this information before they went into Syria.
Yeah, they must have had access to this information.
So is it a possibility that they're just following it and making it look like it's a prediction?
No,
I'm just
brother.
asking.
No,
I'm just asking.
Okay.
So, yes, I'm a brilliant prophecy.
Okay.
I'm only asking.
Okay, you have to understand.
Wait, yes or no?
No, brother, it's not going to be a yes or no answer because your question is not a yes or no answer question. So you have to understand that. You see, what happened in this world, there is a force, which is God, that is actually behind it. He's the one playing out all this movie out. Do you understand what I mean? So if you are talking about, I'm just trying to prove to you that nature couldn't have told these people to go and do it and be successful. That's my point. Nature can't do that because if this
says nature can do it.
No. What I'm trying to prove to you is that he said, those who destroy Syria could have
read the book. They
could have read the book. So what makes you think that they would have been successful?
In what? In following what the book said?
Exactly. Because
what makes me think I'm not the one making the statement.
No,
I'm saying, how do you know?
Okay.
You're the one who's supposed to prove it to me.
Okay, the people who have read this book before they destroy Syria.
Yeah.
Right?
I just said, is it possible?
Okay, fine.
That's all I said.
But that could have been done 100 years ago.
It could have been.
It could have been done 500 years ago. But it didn't happen until the set time because it's prophesied to happen towards the latter end of the age.
Okay.
So this has to happen. Whether they're ready or not, the Most High is the one that put in their mind to go and fulfill His will.
How do you know this is the latter age?
Oh, brother. Look at what is happening to society.
No.
I'm just. Have you ever heard about how the Rome got destroyed?
How do we know that this is the latter age?
Okay.
Please answer.
Okay, if you look at Rome, for example, the first Rome, the Roman Empire that God destroyed, if you look at
God
what
destroyed.
I mean, Rome went off one time.
God destroyed Rome.
No. I said that got destroyed. That got destroyed. I didn't say God. I said that got
destroyed. Oh, that got. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that got destroyed.
Yeah, that got destroyed because Rome was destroyed at a
They
point.
didn't get destroyed like that.
Yeah, but they were wicked.
They were wicked. Well, but that's the kind of human beings, but, you know.
Because if Rome was in power, how
They
did
were replaced by other people. They
no,
did
the Ottoman Empire came and ruled just after Rome.
Not after Rome, no. They didn't.
Okay, so when was the
It
Byzantine
was the
Empire?
Visigoths and the Moors.
Well, fine, thank you.
The
What?
Ottoman Empire wasn't until like thousands of years later.
No, it wasn't.
Until about the
was
Western
500.
The Western Roman Empire
5th century
disappeared into the Eastern Byzantium.
That's what I'm saying. They
Oh,
were
you call it the
weakened.
Ottoman?
They were
Ottomans
weakened.
can't
They were
do this.
weakened.
They
They
were
were
what?
weakened
Wicked?
because don't forget that Rome was divided to two. There was one in the east, there was one in the west.
yeah.
The east is the west is
West
the normal Rome,
disappeared.
and you have the Byzantine Empire on the east. So they were weakened. If you say for example, Bible
And this
says
is your proof
kingdom.
of the end
No, I'm
times.
just trying to come there. Now, if you look at how Rome got destroyed or weakened, it was through decadence. Now, don't you think that? I mean, I know that you've been here for a while. Don't you think that we have more decadence in this society than 10, 20, 40 years ago?
Yeah, let's say I
So
agree.
decadence do destroy a nation.
Okay,
When you have
what's that got to do
decadence,
with God?
wait, once again, because you have to understand that God already programmed there are some things that will happen as towards
Which
the end
reference
of the
for that?
days.
Which reference for that?
For example, if you look at the microchip, do you know that they're chipping human being now?
Yes.
Right? Do you know that the microchip will be used to control man?
Yes. I
Bible
agree.
prophesied that in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, that will happen.
Is that your only evidence?
So no, it's not only, brother. You have to understand that nature cannot do all these things. Nature cannot tell man to write these things.
Okay.
Only a higher power than nature can do that, and that's the Most High,
Where's your
the God
evidence
of
for that?
Israel.
Where's your evidence for that?
Brother,
I'm asking.
the scripture, brother,
keep
I've
failing
given
to give
you
it to me.
evidence that.
Where?
Well, did we go into captivity? Yes. The God that is above
We went
nature.
into captivity is evidence of a God.
But because that's a prophecy.
You're
That's
saying
a
because
prophecy,
prophecies to you come true.
brother, knowledge of God can be too high sometimes.
Why do you
Like,
say
we
this
have
of God?
to-
Why do you should at least say, well, you shouldn't say anything. But I would accept you more if you said, well, I know there's a God because I talked to him last night. If you'd have turned around to me
Brother,
and said that,
brother, if I tell you
there's
God
more
talk
evidence
to
for
me,
me than what
brother,
you're saying now.
brother, if I tell you God talk to me, you will still tell me to show you the evidence. You understand what I mean?
Well, no.
No, you still tell me to show me because all the evidence I'm giving you.
What I'd say is next time you talk to him, tell him to come check me. That's what I'd
Brother,
say.
if God is going to come and check you, you have to keep the commandments. Because we are the Israelite. We all the children of Israel have to keep the commandment. Because well, you don't. I know you will know because you made up your mind. But at least the brother believe that
But
there
he
is
could be
God.
convinced if God showed him
No.
something,
I've
but
been
he could be
trust me. I've been
convinced.
dealing with him
No,
for
you don't.
ages.
No, you don't understand what I
No,
just said.
this is
You
the
don't
first time.
understand. No, if
Okay.
God came to him and said, you know what, I'm revealing myself. This is what I am, rare, then it convinced him.
Fine.
He's not going to be convinced by you telling us, and you have no evidence.
Okay, brother, you have to understand. For example, Elijah in the Bible, right? God said, wait, one second, brother. So at least you say you believe
I
that.
don't know when to end it.
At least
That's my
you said that you
problem. I
don't.
don't know when to end it.
Brother, you said earlier that you're not saying there's no God, but you believe that nature is your God.
The nature is the closest thing to the descriptions that people use as God.
Okay, but and we are part of nature.
Yeah, we're part of nature. Yeah,
So we need laws because nature have guidelines as well.
yeah, we need laws. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we
You do need
okay,
laws.
let's say
yeah.
we need laws.
We need laws, yeah, because it's a common sense.
They're a
that we do
helpful
need
tool,
laws.
but
Yeah, I mean it's the
and they're
most
still
helpful
sub-
tool.
And they're still subjective because it depends on culture to what laws we have.
I agree with you. So we know that, for example, in this society now.
So sorry to just figure there. So if we do have God's laws, some people aren't even listening to him and paying attention.
That's
so
what
how,
I'm saying.
How weak is this God then?
No, it's not that God is weak because He will still judge everybody. Just like in this.
What good is judging if you can't do nothing about it?
No,
And
brother.
not only that, your brethren earlier said that God has wrote in the script, so we can't deviate from the script. That's what his
No,
brethren
we
said
cannot
earlier.
deviate from the script because.
He said it's like he was trying to say it's like a film where God's the producer, the director, the writer, and we can't deviate from it. I said, oh no, that's more like a cartoon. Because in real life, actors can deviate and say things in different tones and argue and stuff. So I says, what? It's more like a cartoon because a cartoon, the characters can't deviate from what's been written, can't deviate from the plan.
But brother, just to really,
To that as well.
you see what the brother was saying earlier.
Yeah.
It's not. it's not the way you are putting it, because what he's trying to say that men do have laws. Yes, he agree with that. However, the laws of God don't change. For example, the Bible says the law of the Lord is perfect. For example, if God says a man and a man should not sleep together in bed, right? In this society now, they give you a license if you want to sleep with a man.
You mean they shouldn't have sex?
Yeah. That's what I mean by bed. I don't want to get too graphics as well, because there might be a little children watching. So God says a man and a man shouldn't lie in bed. So the law of God is perfect according
Aren't
to
these
the book.
Bible stories for children anyway as well?
Huh?
Aren't these Bible stories for children anyway?
Yeah, because you have to train your children the right way they should go. So when they grow up,
so they need to hear
well,
this.
your children they need to know that when they grow up, they can't kill, they can't murder, they
And
can't.
what's too graphic? Did God create sex?
Yeah, I know, but no, brother. You know the society we live today. Yeah. So I'm just saying that because men and men live in they cannot get into bed. But in this society, it says men and men can get into bed. So that goes against the laws of God. So because why? Because
that's what I'm saying. God's weak. God's weak, man. Because no one's
brother. Okay, let me explain to you, brother. Look, we cannot be gainsaying this word, because we know for fact that it is extinction if a man and a man gets together.
No, it's extinction if every man and man get together.
Yeah. So how do you spread corruption or whoredom being spread? You have to have a law. There has to be a stop to every wickedness. So there's a stage whereby you can be so wicked and he has to be stopped. Let's say, for example, if a man is stealing every day and he's not getting caught stealing every day, one day is caught, they will bring all the evil that is done, they will bring it to him.
Homosexuality in this world.
Huh?
You know what would stop homosexuality and everything that you think shouldn't be happening?
He's the Lord.
God come down and told us.
God is going to come with judgment, brother. Because don't forget that, brother.
People do what they're doing and then judge it.
Well, we get judged by man when we go off, when we steal, when we rob, we get judged by man. Why can't God judge us?
How do we even know that we're going to be judged?
Oh, well, brother. Wait. We get you spoke earlier. In fact, thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. You said, brother, you said earlier that nature can judge us too. You said it earlier. That
nature can judge. I didn't say nature can judge. I said nature has laws or uses
to stop man from doing stuff. You said it earlier.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay,
I didn't say nature. I said nature can condition people. For example, this is before you got it. I said because he says who can control man? What laws?
You said nature can
control man. I said nature. Nature puts man in its place sometimes.
That's right.
Nature will have tsunamis. It will have
earthquake.
Yeah. But what he was trying to get to was, because we're at the head of the food chain, there's no one that puts laws onto us, so we have to put laws onto ourselves. And this was all his justification of him trying to show me that there's evidence for God.
Okay, earlier when you were talking about nature controlling man, brother, earlier when you were talking about nature controlling man, God can use nature to judge us, which is why I agree with you earlier, that nature, when you say that nature can control man and put a man in a certain position, I agree with that. Because God can say earthquake, for example, just a judgment too. But the ultimate judgment will be in the latter days. As we go.
Listen, if you want to teach
what do you mean by madman?
I'll answer. Why? You got two couple people.
Fine.
They've been to school, they've been back. Yes. Are you going to lick them down with the tsunami and not tell them why you licked them down with the tsunami? No, Martha, they killed 2 weeks. And not tell nobody why you did it, and then just leave the other free to go to school the next day.
So, brother, didn't I just tell didn't I just tell you that God already gave us law, we're hold to follow it? Brother, if you don't follow the law, you can't call the one that judge you. What kind of a mad judge, brother? What kind of a mad judge that will judge a man that rob a bank, that kill a murder? What kind of a mad judge is that? There's a law in this country that says you cannot steal. If you steal, you get judged. But now you're saying, oh, well, God, it's only a madman that will strike his children because they go off, they steal, they rob, they murder. Brother,
strike could not even tell him why he struck.
Brother, in this country, if you carry a gun and go and rob, would you have police with guns facing you with guns? So why is that? Why can't they come with a handshake?
Fighting the fire with fire.
There you go. So God is going to bring fire. He
just killed 2 picnics.
Yeah.
For being bad at school.
Well, because there's a law of the Bible. That's why we have to follow biblical law. There's a law that says you can't steal, you can't murder. I'm not religious, brother. I'm not Christian. I'm an Israelite. And I'm a nation. Every nation has a law. Arabs have a law. Indians have a law.
So are we, but, you know.
So, but why are we not following the laws of God? That is better than the laws of men.
Because God failed in his
No, man failed, brother. Man failed. God didn't fail.
System failed.
No, man is rebellious.
He flooded the earth.
earth.
Okay, he flooded the earth. Why did he flood the earth?
Regretted it after.
He never
Set up
regretted it.
another system.
That's not what he says.
I got it wrong.
So you say God is wrong, right?
Yeah.
This is what God has to say. This is what God has to say about you.
No, but is he right? What he just said there?
Yeah.
Did God kill off everybody with a flood?
Okay. Let me
You
show
can't
you.
do that. I'm just saying.
Brother, yeah, let me show you why God. Let me show you why God did that. You want to know why God did that? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1. It says, "Woe, woe means destruction." Right? Listen very carefully. It said, "Woe to the rebellious children." Right? Fear the Lord, that taketh counsel, but not by me. You take advice, but not the advice of God. You're good to take advice from man, but you don't take advice from the Lord. But he has a law. You have to believe in that law because his laws are righteous. Bible says the law of the Lord is righteous, converting the soul as well. It says, woe unto fine, you can argue that, that's fine, that's his own opinion. It says, woe to the rebellious children, fear the Lord, that taketh counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may have sin to sin. So when you start to pile up sin upon sin, sin upon sin, one day judgment is going to come. So you have to understand.
Can you explain to him what sin is?
It's a biblical expression.
Huh?
I'm not familiar with.
You want me to explain to him what sin is, right? So this is sin. This is book of.
Can you explain it in a rational way, please?
That this is rational. Okay. Okay. It says, "Whosoever committed sin."
It's a sin.
I'll show you, brother. It's going to tell you now. It says, "Whosoever committed sin, transgresseth also the law. For sin is a transgression of the law." So in the modern term, sin would have been called crime. In the modern term. So if you commit a crime, you've gone against the law of the land. So sin is crime, crime is sin, the interchangeable words. So he said, "Whosoever committed sin, transgressor" means go against the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. So God has given us a just law. If we don't follow it, then we will get judgment.
Sorry. God, his existence, where is that?
Okay, that we've talked past that, but we're not talking about the law. No, we've talked about that. When you say what's the existence of God, the scripture is the scripture is the existence of God, because you have to believe. This is why you have to have faith. You have to have faith, brother. You have to have faith, because if you say, like, you may not. I can see why you're against saying the word, because you don't believe there is God, right?
No.
No, you don't believe there's God.
I never said that.
So why are you saying that? Where is God?
Where is he? That's all.
Okay, God is okay. Do you have spirit?
Do I have spirit?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
No. I'm asking you a question. Is there spirit in you right now?
I don't know what it is.
Okay, do you have blood running in you? Do you have blood running in you?
Blood.
Right. Okay, the spiritual version of, when you're talking about blood, blood actually is spirit when you're talking about the spirituality. Blood is spirit. Because when a man dies, what's the first thing that leaves the body?
Blood
I'm
is
asking you,
spirit.
I know you're carnal, I'm going to ask you a carnal question. When a man dies,
Quite simple.
I'm asking you a simple
Blood is
question.
spirit.
You've not even, listen, when a man dies, what is the first thing that leaves his body?
Have you noticed that you're changing the subject? You're changing the subject now. We're talking about
Hair. So, if hair leaves his body, then he hasn't got life. So I'm asking you a question. What's the life?
It's his life.
The hair that you say lives, what is it?
It's a lot of things, a lot of factors, a lot of biological things. Life.
So if your heart stops beating right now, right, the blood will stop flowing, right? So that means life left your body. That life that leaves your body, what do you call it? What do you call it? You call it hair, right? Just little hair that
Well, you know,
oxygen and what? Okay. Okay, before science came to call it oxygen and carbon dioxide, in the Bible was called spirit. Because when God created Adam, if you look at the book of Genesis 2:7, God put the breath of life into Adam, and Adam became a living soul.
the elements of
If you want to say element, if that's what you understand, I still buy that. Because hair that you mentioned is element as well, right? So that hair in the Bible, before scientists came and give it a name, God already called it spirit. So that's what spirit means. So when I'm talking about blood, I'm talking.
It's not a supernatural.
Well, at the end of the day, right? You cannot. Okay, if I say a word right now, can you take the image of the word I says? Can you see the image of the word I'm saying? No. Why is it that you can't see the image? Right? Because I'm trying to prove to you that it's not only physical reality that exists. There's another realm that exists that you don't see.
You can detect the words though through waves, sound.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, thank you, brother. Now, oh, sound wave. How do you detect sound wave? What instrument do you need to detect it?
Through electrical devices such as microphones.
So why is it that you need electrical devices? Why can't you just do it naturally as being part of nature?
You can through your ears.
Huh?
You can through your ears. You can detect naturally through nature. It's called your ears.
So, but
Like detect words.
I agree with you, brother.
Just can't video.
That's my point. Thank you. That's my point because
That's why this is
no. I'm trying to tell you that there's a spiritual realm that we don't see. So this spiritual realm we don't see, a lot of people don't understand it. Therefore, they say, "Oh, God doesn't exist." Well, even if you say frequency, can you see with ordinary sight? Again, so therefore you cannot see the breath that comes out of your nostril with your eyes. You can't.
Detect them, bro.
Yeah, but you need instrument to do that.
What instrument do you need for the Holy Spirit?
So this is
What do you need for the Holy Spirit?
okay. This
instrument?
let me show you the instrument you need.
Because technically, apart from consciousness, but even that can be detected. Technically.
Wait. Why do you need MRI if you're part of nature? Why do you need MRI? Wait, brother, because we were saying something about. No, I'm asking him because it would be better to answer because we were talking about nature. You weren't here. That's why. Okay. The reason why I want to throw you the answer because we've gone deep a little bit into nature. I'm trying to prove to you that the sound wave itself is part of nature. So why is it that we are also nature but we can't see sound wave? Why is it that? So there you go. So then that means if you say our eyes cannot detect that means you do agree that there's another realm that you can see. Right? Do you agree with that? So now, so if you can say that, so that means there's another realm that we cannot see as being human beings with naked eyes, right? So can you see it with your naked eyes? Can you see what life with your naked eye, breath, wave, all these things that are invisible? Oh, you can see the result. Like if I say something, you hear me, right?
So you can see when a sperm hits an egg, you can see the light.
But those are physical. I'm telling you, no. The breath you say that comes out of your nostrils is not a physical thing that you can hold. No, physical means something you can touch and feel. Can you touch it?
No.
Oh, wait.
You have no idea what they say. I'm not going to patronize.
So when you say physical objects,
You said that.
no, I'm just saying. Okay, when you say physical object, is hair a physical object?
It's air.
Hair a physical object. Now, touch hair and show me one.
Give me a plastic bag. Give me a plastic bag.
Okay, why do you need a plastic? No. Why do you need another object to catch another object?
Because it's so small.
Wait. I need you, nature, to catch an object and show me. But there you go. This is my
What you're
point.
talking about is the micro world, yeah?
What I'm talking about, no, I'm not talking about micro world. I'm talking about invisible world. And I'm talking about invisible worlds. I'm trying to let you know that the invisible world is the spirit realm that you cannot see. You love to live in this physical reality, right? But I'm telling you there's another version of it that we cannot see that does exist as well. And there's something that controls that, which is higher than just nature that we see.
There's a microscopic
That's the
world.
spirit that the Bible is talking about.
We live in a macro world where we can see things.
I'm not talking about my micro. Micro has to be a physical thing as
It's a
well.
physical thing.
So I'm not talking about physical things. I'm talking about the air that comes out of your nostril, for example.
It's physical.
It's not a physical thing. Okay, now if I say a word, I want you to show me the image of the word I just said. You say you can do that.
No, that means it's not visual. It's
Thank you. So if something is not visual, it's called spirit.
The book says.
Okay, show me the definition of spirit. Spirit is something that is invisible.
I do.
I knew that you.
Brother.
I knew that you couldn't present.
It's from the
I knew that you couldn't present spirits, but I didn't know you were clueless
And
in
then,
terms
that's
of
different.
like
Don't try and mix
what
that
ear
up.
is and how it's physical. It is physical. It's a combination of elements.
We live in a physical universe.
Okay, fine.
In
Okay,
fact, show me something that's not physical or natural.
brother. This is what I'm trying to tell you, big brothers. Like there's a part of reality that we don't see. Just because we don't see doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that?
Just because you don't see it, don't mean it.
Thank you, brother. Now you agree, but you're two different
Yes,
people
mate,
because you
your
have
wording
different
is
opinions.
wrong.
No, okay,
Our eyes cannot detect something.
okay, fine.
But
Do-
so we make an instrument to detect it.
Okay, so leave the instrument out of nature right now.
No, you can't.
No, brother, I will tell you the reason why you need to. Because
That's what
man,
we did thousands of years ago.
one second. Do you know why you have to leave instrument out? Nature. Wait, let me tell you why you have to leave it out. Man created instruments, right?
No,
Man-
we just said the ears.
Brother,
Hold on, your
no.
ears, that's nature.
But no, we're talking
Yes,
about no.
words.
Okay,
Talk about words.
thank you. So leave instrument out. Do you agree with that?
Leave the instrument out.
We want to talk about nature. No, the ear is part of nature, right? So leave all these instruments that you use in the lab. Leave it out because it was created by
We're
man.
leaving nature out because ears are part of nature.
No,
so we're leaving nature out.
No. Here, I'm not talking about the ear. He's talking about instruments.
Ear is an instrument. It's just
It's an instrument of part of nature, right? But all those instruments that you need to see sound wave, right? They were created by man. Do you agree that?
no. Your ear wasn't created by man.
No, the
Oh, to
instrument
see-
that you need-
Sorry, to see a sound wave.
Yeah, to see a sound is
Yeah,
made
so
by
you're
men,
gonna see a
right?
sound wave.
So instrument is made by men, right?
Or hear a color.
No,
you
it's-
can't hear a color.
Okay, any
Use that example as well.
Brother-
That's why you use your eyes to see color and your ears to hear noises.
okay, tell me.
Sound waves.
Okay, what instrument do you need to see sound wave?
What instrument do you need to see a sound wave? Probably something to do with the microscope and microphone and then the
Frequency and
the
all this stuff.
computer. But let me
It's
ask you a
got- well,
question.
it's got-
What instrument-
it's got
let me
us-
ask you a
us-
question.
yeah.
What instrument do you need or we need to see a spirit?
I will tell you in a minute, but let me tell. Well, I will tell you in a minute. I want to finish. Wait. It's not the ultimate
no,
question
bro,
before we
peace
say
price for
that.
that.
Because what I'm trying to debunk with you guys is that when it comes to nature, right, it's something that you can do It's something you can do spiritually. But you say that you need an instrument to see things that you cannot see with naked eyes, right? But those things are called instruments made by men. For example, oscilloscope is what you use to measure frequency, right? So if you need oscilloscope to measure frequency, that's made by man. So anything made by man is not actual nature. It's a secondary thing that was made because it's not natural. Yeah. So
Granting that,
Yes
yeah.
and no, actually. Because it's still part of evolution.
yeah.
Technology,
Yes, it's part of
cyborgs, AI.
Yeah.
Because if you connect that to a man, it then becomes a cyborg, which then becomes part of evolution.
So cyborg is an ideology. Cyborg.
That's reality.
Yeah. Okay.
Cyborg's reality.
Okay. Fine.
Let's talk about RFID chips.
Okay. So
What's it called? Hearing aids.
okay.
That's a cyborg.
But I still don't want to get carried away from the fact that there's a realm, because my brother believes. But I need to ask you: is there a realm that you cannot see with your eyes just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist? What is dark matter?
What is it? We don't know.
Okay, you don't know. So, but you believe it exists.
I reasonably believe it.
You reasonably believe. Do you agree with him?
Yeah, it's what I've been told.
Okay.
Based on the evidence.
Guess what? If you believe that you cannot see dark matter, but you believe it exists, so am I. I believe there is a spirit that I cannot present to you physically, but I believe it does exist. So when I tell you about God is spiritual being, you can't see him. Yes, I believe it exists, but you believe that dark matter exists. So we are on the same page.
Based on evidence.
So how can
what's
you?
your evidence?
So what is your evidence that dark matter exists?
There's something there.
Oh, there's
It's not
something
fully
there
understood.
that's not fully understood.
Communicate and inspire.
It communicate and inspire people. Spirit do the same thing as well. What you just said, yeah, right? Exactly the same thing you said. Spirit does the same thing.
Is there any scientific journals that explain it?
Is there any scientific journal that explains dark matter as well? Okay,
That's where it's from.
okay, show me one.
show you. You want me to show you
Yeah,
one right
please,
now?
show me one right now.
Scientific Journal.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah, sure, yeah.
yeah, he's taking over. He's not doing as good as his friend.
No, it's not about, because you don't want to get spiritual, so I'm going to stay on the level as you.
I don't want to.
No, you don't, brother, you don't want to get spiritual, so I can't go deep in the scripture because you sound like that you don't agree with the scripture. So I'm going to stay on your level as well. Because knowledge have level.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I'm not going to give you something that you cannot eat. Because there's milk, there's milk, there's meat. So I'm not going to be giving you meat when you can't eat, when you can hardly swallow the milk.
You said there's something spiritual. So can you tell me, can you demonstrate it to me?
So that's why I'm asking you. You believe there's matter, right? And I want you to demonstrate. If you can demonstrate, I will demonstrate mine.
What is matter first?
No, he's telling me. No, he's the one telling me. It's not me.
So we have
That's for him.
How do you understand matter?
No, he's the one giving me the understanding.
How do you understand matter?
There you go. That's the one you need to ask.
Matter, it's the molecules that are made up of everything. And we can detect that through
Cells, DNA, atoms.
Instrument.
instruments.
Okay, you
We
need the
have
instrument to detect it, right?
man-made instruments because they're very small, they're microscopic, and we have electron
Okay,
microscopes.
so that's faith. So you're talking about faith.
It's not faith.
Okay, so you're talking
can
about belief. You're
demonstrate
talking
it.
about you believe that it does exist because you said it earlier. It's on camera. So a belief is a faith.
No.
Okay, go into the dictionary and look. No. Go into the dictionary and give me a synonym. Give me synonyms of belief. Belief is a faith. So if you have faith that matter exists,
I have confidence.
fine. I have confidence that the spirit does exist as well. Just because you can't see.
Demonstrate.
So until you demonstrate your matter, then I will
Until-
come to demonstrate mine.
I'm asking you,
I can demonstrate mine
and you're
through
throwing it back
faith.
at me.
Okay.
I believe it's the second one there that talks. Well, many of them were talking about dark
Can I?
matter. They're journals. Yeah, go ahead. And they're explaining they're people who understand better.
Which one
than
should
me.
I be looking at?
You take your pick. I've not looked at them.
Okay.
We're just letting
Astrophysicists.
So I wonder, why do we need to go into this?
because you asked me to.
Yeah, so this is why I'm doing the same thing with the Bible. Yeah, because
doing it a lot,
yeah,
no?
yeah. This is exactly the same thing. Now you're showing me something written by a man.
You asked me to.
No. I asked you for a proof, and you came up with something that's written by a man, right?
Like the Bible,
Right. Yeah.
the Bible.
So now this is my point. Do you believe in this?
Do I believe?
Yeah.
It's the best explanation I have
Okay.
by people who are more experienced than I have.
Okay, fine. Do you believe in our ancestors that says that we were going to slavery and it happened? Do you believe in that?
A prediction.
Yeah, well, this is a prediction too.
I have no.
That's a prediction
Yes,
too, yeah?
based on evidence.
Okay.
I have no reason to believe
Okay.
that they didn't know, since the slavery happened before I was born, I have no evidence of knowing that these people who wrote that didn't already know that it was happening.
Okay.
Since especially, as we've already discussed, slavery has been since time immemorial.
Okay, but the type of slavery that was documented in the Bible, you couldn't show me in time memorial.
Does it say chattel slavery?
Wait, you say, if they
No,
shackle you,
doesn't.
brother,
It said-
if they shackle you and they bundle you into a ship, show me one race of people that's it, and
hold
I'll
on.
give you £1,000.
So were people shackled?
A
in slavery?
£3,000
So let me ask
for you. Now I'm
So
just
let me
telling you, a
ask you.
£3,000 for
So let
you.
me ask you.
Show me a race
So let me.
that
Did
happened
you just say
to.
£3,000?
Well, show me a race. One second,
me you got
brother.
it in your bank
Brother,
account, bro.
show me a race.
Before you start making
Brother,
them
one second.
outlandish.
One second. Outlandish. I will tell you it's not
Outlandish
outlandish.
then.
Show me a race. Apart from black people in West Coast of Africa, that's called Atlantic slave trade, that's shackled,
It doesn't
and they
say
bonded.
Atlantic slave
Brother,
trade.
but that's what they gave it when it came to pass. That's the name they gave
It
it.
says. What does it say?
That's the name they gave it.
What
They say
does
we
it-
were going to slavery by ship.
No, dapper down.
Oh yeah, okay.
No,
Only
dapper
at
down.
one
Listen
second,
to
brother.
me.
Only at Atlantic slave trade
Dapper
happened,
down. The Romans had people in shackles.
and they put them in ship.
Yeah, the gladiators.
And they put them in
Riza
ship.
rode the ships.
Okay, and they put them in ship. Fine. What kind of people
I've
were?
seen the,
What race
I've
of
seen the
people is that?
Romans. Yeah,
What race of people did Romans put in ship? What race of people that? You say it happened to the
They
Romans.
put everybody in
No.
ships.
Then I need you to show me the evidence, and I will show you the evidence that
They got books.
You see, oh my
They got
God!
books
But,
with this shit.
so,
Like,
name
with the
one.
research.
Name one.
Yeah,
Name
do
one.
the research.
Name one. Name one. Name the
Name a
book.
book.
Name just one book.
I can't.
Because you know why you can't name it?
That must mean I'm
It
wrong.
doesn't exist. That's why you can't name it.
Explanation
So,
to
brother, if you
wrong.
can't name something, but I can name, brother, I can show you. Even if you go on Google image, I can show. Okay, fine. I will wait. I wait.
I showed you the dark
No,
matter.
show me the
You
one.
didn't even look at it.
No, do you know I couldn't
You
look
didn't
at
even
it?
look at it.
That's not a proof
No
that it
way.
doesn't exist.
Expecting you not to do that.
No, that's a proof that it doesn't exist because man come with ideology and theory and put it in the book.
Listen, I'm not
and
saying.
you all run
listen,
the.
we're
run the
not
ground.
saying. Forgive
You
me
can
for
laugh,
speaking.
man. You can laugh
Forgive
as
me for
much as
speaking
you
on your behalf. We're not saying the dark matter does exist. We're saying.
No. You say it does exist.
I don't think that's what he's saying.
Well, you
I
contradicting
think-
each other.
I
Then.
think what he's saying
Because
is
you say you
he
believe
has
it too.
reason to believe based on the evidence that's been presented
So
so
where is
far.
the evidence?
Where's
Give
it?
me a physical evidence
I
of that
gave
matter.
you the thing.
No, it's a writing you give me. It's not physical evidence.
Based on the astrophysicists that he talked about.
Astrophysicists can't give us the physical
So are
evidence.
you saying if we don't...
Because if they can, you would have told me
Yes, point.
the evidence they gave.
We are under the law of the
So this is why I'm saying that the same way you believe in that matter, I also believe in Spirit of God, and it's documented in the Bible. Because you should also show me
your
a document
evidence.
of that
We agree.
matter. So
That's your evidence.
this is my point.
That's
That
your
my evidence is even more concrete than yours. Because why? Mine came to pass. It will say a people, right? What? It say a people will go into slavery. Right? And they will be in slavery, they will go in slavery by ship. And you say it happened with the Romans, then I say, given the evidence,
They slave people by ship.
wait, who is that? Who did that?
Who did that?
Yeah.
Are you saying that the transatlantic slave trade was the only slave trade that they used ships to shackle people in?
For one race, yes.
But where does it say one race?
Because when
No,
you
where does it say one race?
when you go to West Coast of Africa, you don't have Chinese people
I'm just
there.
asking
No,
where-
I'm just
I'm
saying to
asking
you,
you
but
where-
I'm telling you.
Yeah, but-
You're asking me
No,
and I'm
you're
not giving you
No,
answer.
you're not. I'm
Okay,
asking
fine.
Where it says one race.
Okay, what race of people live in West Coast of Africa? There you go. Because I'm telling you, but you don't want me
Let
to
me ask you a
answer.
question. Let's see where it goes. Go on. Then.
Okay, you only have one race of people living in West Coast of Africa. Yes or no?
In the west coast of Africa, one race.
If not, tell me.
Technically
Well,
not.
no. Okay, tell me.
Because
Where's
many
Chinese there?
There's many different types of black people or Africans.
Okay.
There's so many different, what do they call them, ethnicities
Okay.
within Africa. Yeah.
Do they all look alike?
Around.
No, do they all look alike? I'm not
No,
going
they
around.
don't.
They don't.
Not all of them, no.
So which of them look Chinese?
Some brothers and sisters don't look alike.
Okay, so which of them look Chinese or Indian?
South
In West
Africa.
Coast of
Well, not from
in West Coast of Africa.
Well, then again, I'm not too familiar with them.
Brother, this is why. So if you're not familiar with the history, how could you be debating on something I've already looked into? I've
I'm
researched
not
for
debating
many
that.
years.
I'm not debating
That's
that.
my point. That the
That's not
Bible,
what I'm
that, brother, you can
I'm
look.
not debating
You've
that.
even
You asked me a
brother.
question that I'm not even talking about.
The
I
Bible-
said it's,
the
I
Bible-
said it's not in the Bible that it was one race.
No, yeah, wait.
Or is it in the
This
Bible?
is why I'm asking you that if it's not one
I'm not a
race,
Bible expert.
there you go. I am, and I'm
Bible
telling you,
expert.
and
So
I'm
tell me
telling
what
you.
it said in the Bible
Okay,
about one race.
okay, fine. I will show you that Israel is one race. Okay, this is the book of Jeremiah. Because the Jews are black. Well, fuck, brother. So because Bible go with history. Yeah, it go with history. When Bible said things happen, it happened. It said this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 14 verse 3. It says, Judah mourneth, and the gate thereof languisheth, they are black. So when the Europeans were coming to West Coast of Africa, no, I'm just
That's a part I actually agree with.
yeah.
I still think it's mythology and it's fairy tales, but I believe that your fairy tales are better than the Ashkenazi Jewish fairy tales.
Brother, look,
That's what I would say.
look, it cannot be better than or not better than. What I'm
It's a
based
fairy tale
on,
that makes
no,
more
what I'm
sense.
basing on is on fact. I'm basing on something that you can even research while you're standing
with you. I
here.
agree with
That
that.
it does
It's based
happen.
on some
And
elements of
again,
facts.
don't forget that.
But your God is not based on fact.
I
Your slave
will
trade
tell you
is.
what way.
Your slave trade is.
So if
but
he's
your
correct
God,
on-
your God's not based on fact. Your Egyptian slavery is not based on fact because there's no evidence for that.
Okay,
your
there's no evidence
Your
you said, right?
Moses, your Abraham, and your Jacob and all them man, they're not based on fact. There's no
Okay.
evidence for them.
Okay, so have you?
Your Adam and Eve,
One
no
second,
no evidence for them.
one second, brother. I'm trying to
It
remember.
even
wait,
says
I'm
Elohim.
trying to remember these archaeologists that actually went to the Red Sea and they find a lot of brother. Let me finish. They find a lot of chariots Wheels of chariots. But brother, you can Google it. But
Joshua, man, Joseph.
brother, you see, if there's an actual, I'm trying to remember this white guy. He went to the Red Sea.
And it were on the news, all over the news.
Yeah, well, you can even Google it, right? He saw a lot of chariot wheels. And not just ordinary chariot wheels. He saw sword, he saw spears.
Really?
In that same place they cross.
Okay.
Today.
Wooden chariots.
Wooden chariots, is spears and sword.
Wooden chariots.
Yeah, and swords. Wait, 1 second. And sword.
so commonplace.
And spears.
So commonplace.
And spears.
So
Wait,
commonplace.
wait. And spears at that same place that it was documented that Israel went through in the Bible, in the Red Sea. Then not only that, when he also went to the wilderness where you call the northern side of Saudi Arabia today, you will see all these inscriptions in Hebrews letters.
So what?
So these are the places they make camp. So the Bible is accurate on that you can still see today. There. You understand what I mean?
On the Egyptians' hieroglyphics, there's lots of things there. Do you believe all that as well?
So yeah, of course.
Everything.
Of course, there was a guy that was even breaking it down that says that one of the pharaohs says that Israelites were on the hieroglyphics.
And the Egyptians had lots of gods. You believe in those too?
No, look, I don't believe in a lot of God because in the Bible he says, "Yeah, O Israel, the Lord our God is one."
No, it
Lord.
says Elohim, doesn't it?
Well, when you say Elohim, when you say Elohim, it means gods. The angels are called gods too.
Angels are called
We are
gods.
called gods, and angels is higher than us. So that means angels are called gods. Because God means power.
Well, you do know
It means
El,
you have
you do
power.
know El is a Canaanite god, right?
Huh?
You do know that El.
But
is
we
a
don't
Canaanite
use hell because that's a modern way of
but it
saying
says
it.
Elohim.
No, because I go with what you understand. If you want me to go a little bit deeper, it's called
You're gonna say
Alahayam.
Yahweh.
No, it's called
Allah.
Alahayam.
Allahayam.
Alahayam means powers.
What's that from? Ain't that from El?
That's what they call
from
him.
El.
No, that's what they call in modern term Elohim. But you can go. That's the modern term
No,
they
El
give
is a
it.
Canaanite god, right?
But I know.
It's the
But
head of the pantheon.
hell just means power. That's what it means. Hell, it means power.
Hell or El.
Hell, E-L means power. That's what it means.
So if it only means power, how do you know it was a man and it was a god? It could have been a dude then, didn't it? Could have been a king.
As in.
Yeah, laugh. That's what you said.
No,
I
no, I'm
didn't
not
say
laughing.
it.
I'm
No, I like the
waiting.
fact you're laughing because you're laughing
No,
at your
no,
own
no, I'm
statements.
not laughing.
You're laughing at your own statements.
Brother, I'm not laughing
You said
at
it
all.
means-
What am
you
I
said it
laughing
means
for?
power.
I'm
You said it
telling.
means power. So how do you know it was a god and
Okay,
not a dude?
fine. Now, do you understand language?
Yeah, I
Do you study
understand
language?
Some languages.
Okay, so if you understand language, Aramaic language, who were the people who spoke Aramaic?
What were the name of the people?
No, who
spoke
are the
Arabic?
people who spoke that language?
I don't know
Aramaic.
the name of the people, you know. I know Joshua ben Joseph is one of the people alleged to be of that language group. All I know is it's Semitic. I know that Aramaic came from Phoenician, I believe, which came from the Demotic and the hieroglyphic, and later spread into Hebrew and Arabic. Yeah, but I don't know the name of the group of people that spoke Aramaic. What was the name of the people?
Okay, the people
What
who
was
spoke the people who spoke Aramaic, there are three people there. You have Assyria.
people?
No, there are three groups of people that spoke that language. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. You have Assyria, you have Ashur, and you have Aram.
Syrians.
The Assyrians, you have
else?
Ashur, and you have Aram.
Okay.
So they spoke Aramaic. But you also have to understand where the language of Aramaic comes from.
And what was the Bible written in?
No,
originally?
I'm
Were
going
written in
to.
Aramaic,
No,
was
no,
it?
no, it wasn't. It was.
Okay,
It
so
was
I mentioned
written.
Aramaic.
It was written in the bigger, the earlier version of
So what's
Hebrew.
Aramaic got to
Because
do with
it has a lot to do with it. You see,
You speak Greek,
no, I understand a little bit, but I speak Hebrew.
but not that much.
The
No.
no,
And
but I
it's
speak.
written in Greek.
No, I'm talking
in the
about
first-
Hebrew, brother. I'm talking even before
Your
Greek
text is
came.
written in Greek.
But
If
I'm
this is
talking-
your God's language,
brother,
how
one
could you
second. I'm
learn?
talking about before Greek came. That's why I'm going
Before
back.
Greek came?
Yeah, because Aramaic is being here before
Was
Latin.
Aramaic before
Of
Greek?
course,
No, I didn't say
Arab is
Latin, no, Greek,
because
no, Greek and Latin. Even though, no, actually, Greek is before Latin.
brother, Aramaic is here before Greek, because Greek came out of Aramaic.
Possibility.
Arab
I'm
came
not
out of
completely
Aramaic.
sure. Yeah,
So
I'm not completely sure.
I'm going before all
Hold
this
on, say
new
that again,
language.
because what came before what?
You see Aramaic
Yeah.
that you see?
Yeah.
Arab language came out of Aramaic.
Yeah,
You
but
can
we're talking
call
about
all the
Greek,
Arabs
but
and
you
they
said
tell
it
you
came
that.
before Greek.
Right? Greek, Arab language came before the Latin language.
Arab came from Latin. No,
Yeah.
I think they might be
Arab people are
simultaneous.
ancient people.
No, I know you got
So
Moorish
what were
Latin.
they speaking?
Hold on, I know you got Moorish Latin, but I'm not even. Oh, I'm actually trying to work it out.
No, forget the more, brother. Those are modern stuff. Those are like
Didn't the
middle
original
age
biblical-
stuff.
but didn't the original
I'm talking about the
didn't
old
the
ancient
original
time.
biblical text come in Greek though?
Do you know why I'm going?
Answer that question first. Didn't the original biblical text come in Greek though?
No,
Was it written in Greek?
No, all of them, because it's two parts.
Were written in
No,
Greek?
no, brother, it's two parts.
Or were they written in Aramaic?
No, one second.
Later
Wait,
on is in Greek.
wait, if you don't let me divide
I
it,
think it was earlier.
Well,
It was in Greek.
Aramaic.
they're two
That's the
parts.
language that
They're two
Jesus
parts.
spoke. I don't think
No,
they
no,
wrote
no.
it
Christ
in
didn't speak
Aramaic.
Aramaic. This is what I'm about to
It was
tell you,
Hebrew.
brother.
I think I don't know.
No, brother, this is why I ask you,
Okay,
do you know
okay. No, I'm
language?
just
You
trying-
don't know language, brother. Because you have to understand that what you're talking about is deeper than that, because Christ never spoke Aramaic. Christ spoke ancient Hebrew, which is called the Lashon Kodash. It's also Hebrew. It's just like, in England we speak English, right? But the Jamaicans also speak English as well. So they have their own intonation. So the Creole or broken English, you would say. Nigeria have theirs as well. So you cannot come from Jamaica and Nigeria, come and write broken English in the exam in England. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. That Aramaic also is a watered down version of ancient Hebrew. You understand what I mean? So you also have to understand that before Greek came, you also have Arabic language that came from Aramaic. You understand what I mean? So if you have those words, you cannot use the word hell. You have to use the ancient word, which is what the Bible was actually written in the Old Testament, which is called the Lashon Kodash. Lashon Kodash, one second. Let me finish.
And we know what it means.
No, let me finish. Lashon Kodash means holy or pure tongue. Now, Hebrew is the holy or pure tongue. However, if you want to use the word Elohim, it doesn't exist when the Bible was written in ancient Hebrew. That's my point. Because when you say Elohim, hell doesn't mean it's a Canaanite god. Hell just means, in that region, it just means power. Because it wasn't only the Canaanite that were using that word.
So in Genesis, it means we, the powerful, created man.
No, that's not what it means. Again, when you go to Genesis 1:28, when God said, "Let us make man in our own image," He was talking to Christ.
our likeness.
Yeah, our likeness.
Talking to Christ.
He was talking to Christ.
2,000 years before he was born.
No,
or
no,
whatever.
brother, that's another subject. And what I'm arguing with them is
I
a
know, is this a
different.
comedy sketch? This is
No,
a
no,
comedy
no.
sketch, isn't it?
Confusion, huh?
This is a comedy sketch.
Because
I just realised
brother,
he's a comedian.
See, you say it's a book of confusion, right?
Why doesn't God
Brother,
dictate and don't inspire?
Look, men are foolish.
But to
Men are
Christ,
foolish. Men are foolish.
Genesis.
And knowledge of God is too high for a fool. That's what the Bible tells you. You have to understand that.
See, now
The
you're
knowledge of
demeaning-
God,
you're
no,
demeaning
brother.
the human,
No, you're human kill, they rape, they murder. So why wouldn't I
We
demean
are
them?
fallible.
On the orders of God.
What's your obsession with Christ?
No, brother. That I will come with you. And that's another one. That's another one.
Powerful
But I'm
person.
talking to my brother on
it's
the
relevant,
things of
though.
nature.
No,
It's not
what he
relevant
just says
right now.
relevant.
No, when he says let us create man, you have to also understand, because you Lord don't believe in the Bible. I know that. I know that. So
No, the Bible's real.
Huh?
The Bible is real.
If the Bible is not real, we will never go to slavery. If the Bible is not real, we will not. Do you know that? One second, brother.
I'm
Do you
not
know that
sure
was a
what's
sign,
in the Bible is
brother?
correct.
One second, brother.
God sanctioned slavery,
Me and you is a different
Yes,
case. I just
yes.
want to deal with them.
Did you just hear
No,
that?
eh?
God sanctioned slavery.
Wait, God sanctioned
Promoted
slavery.
it.
That's correct.
Okay, why did He sanction slavery?
Why?
Because it's nasty, man.
No, it's because you are disobedient children. That's why He sanctioned you.
Angry.
Yeah, wait, I'm not angry. I'm actually talking friendly.
He's angry.
Oh, I know he's angry.
No, not
Do you
him
know why
or you.
you're angry?
God
right?
is angry.
kills
Oh wait,
people.
wait. Have you ever beaten your children before?
I'm not God. I'm not all
Have
powerful
you
and all
ever
knowing.
beaten your children before? Yes
No.
or no? No. Are you a good daddy?
Now what? Now what?
Are you a good dad?
Yes.
You're a good dad.
Yes.
So when your children go off, you don't correct
I've never
them.
killed any of my
No,
children.
when
either.
your children
I've
go
never
off,
killed
do
any
you
of my
torture
children.
them?
Brother,
I've
when
never
your
tortured them.
In the
children.
basement
I've never tortured them in the basement.
and set fire to them.
Never set fire to my
Okay,
children.
fine.
Never done none of them.
Once again, when your children go wrong, do you correct them?
He wants to fight something that matches
Do you?
now.
No, I'm asking a question.
I correct them
You correct them, right?
physically
Why do you correct them?
to tell them and guide them
To guide
Out
them.
of love.
So, but you correct them in your own way.
in my way.
So now I want you to choose a way how God should correct a man that kills another man.
He's
Choose
not all
one for me.
powerful and all knowing.
No, but it doesn't matter. I
He's
want
just
him to
a
choose.
dude.
But then he has.
a dude.
Wait, if you're not
Children
all
did
knowing or powerful, then you need to shut
My
up.
children didn't
Because you
kill
don't know what
anyone.
God is talking about.
My children.
That's
You're right.
it.
You're right. So slavery is all right then, based
So
on
wait,
God
but
knowing.
slavery is not right, right?
No,
To you,
it's right. No, you're saying it's right.
No, what I'm saying is that God can choose any way to punish
And
any
so
man.
slavery is cool.
Huh?
And so slavery is cool because your God allowed it, right?
Conditions.
Your God allowed
You
slavery.
allow it because
so you
you're
accept it
stubborn.
as
You
well.
lot are stubborn.
You allowed it what?
You lot are stubborn. You're rebellious. You're always lying against each
So
other.
God
You're
allowed
always
it.
raping each other's wife and sleeping and
What,
committing
just us or
adultery.
you as
So
well?
he has to punish you.
It's talking about you as well, you know.
Eh? Yeah.
You as well.
Guess what? I came out of that, so I grew a little bit of sense. That should not kill, that should not rape, that should not murder.
I
So,
do that.
No,
but why
we've
you
never done
support?
this. We've never done
You
these
never
things.
do that. So why are you in a place supporting those who are doing it? Because that you're in their shoe right now. Because you are justifying those who are raping and murdering by saying the laws of God are not right. That's what you're doing.
Hey, that's a long shot. That's a long
There
shot.
you go.
You could
That's
say,
what we've been debating about.
Dan, you're in a country that supports them things. This.
Well, we were in a country that used to kill people when they were witches.
But what are you doing here?
Am I lying?
By that logic.
Wait, by that logic, we were in a country that used to bomb people that are witches.
So
there you go. So why do you go and judge the Queen and the Parliament before you jump the gun?
I don't agree with that. That's what they do.
So that means we need, brother, we are the Israelite. We need a law. We have to keep the commandment. That's it. Let's shut this conversation that we all agree that men need a law and man must sit tight and stop committing
all
all
the Queen says she's a Hebrew as well.
Huh?
She's a Hebrew as well.
No, the Queen is going to slavery. That's where she's going.
Well, now when she's dead?
Well, not when she's dead. Well, no, I don't believe.
She's going in there next week.
Well, if she doesn't go, our children will go into slavery.
When's she going in slavery?
When the time comes, she will go.
When's the time?
No, I hope that God gives us
will does not prove you're God.
Eh?
I know. We're getting back to
Look,
the point.
okay.
That's the point.
Okay, fine. You just asked me about black matter, right? Yeah. And you couldn't prove to me black matter. Why is that?
Dark matter does not tell people how to live, give commandments. Yeah.
Do you know why?
Do
you know why dark matter cannot do that? Because dark matter is not a god. And again, it shows you that. Wait. It shows you that if dark matter cannot give you laws, you will be foolish to follow dark matter because it's leading you astray.
That's what I'm saying is something exists that we can't see.
So and then you believe in it. Why do you believe in something you can't see?
Reasonably believe.
Why do you even reasonably believe at all? You should say, well, if I can't see it, doesn't exist.
It's a mystery.
Oh, it's a mystery.
Yeah.
Guess what God is? God is a mystery too. Because you cannot, very mysterious. God is mysterious. Even tree that gives you food are mysterious. Do you know how apple have to know that you have to draw nutrients out that taste like apple when you eat it? Yes. That's mystery, brother.
That is a mystery.
So,
but he's not telling you what to do.
Oh, wait.
He's not telling you that you're going to burn in hell.
Yes.
So, brother, do you know that people actually burn when in the cell? When in jail? People burn. Yeah, because when you take away people's liberty, they burn.
The context, that's not right.
He's got nowhere else to go.
So what context do you want me to use that would be right for you to justify that when a man sins, he has to go and pay for it?
Is it literal? That if I don't believe in your God, that I will burn in hell.
Okay, you see, okay, so if you don't believe in God, you're born in hell. How do you tell me, how do you want God to punish you if you do something wrong? Just tell me. Give me an example. You want a simple punishment to touch your toe?
Intellectually.
Yeah.
In an efficient manner that's going to help me to understand. That's what I want.
Okay. So what about if we give you time like children grow at home, they learn the way of the dad?
What about what?
Like children when they're growing at home, they know the way their dad instruct them.
You can't equate God with human beings.
No, okay.
Unequatable.
Okay, the reason why I'm trying to use this analogy. No, I'm not actually using God as in this term. The reason why I'm trying to use this analogy is that look, if you listen to me, when God gave us law, He knows that we will break the law. This is why He always show us mercy and show us grace. Okay, fine, you didn't get it right this time. You can get. Wait. What? Wait, no. This is what I'm saying. God created the laws. He knows that man is very lustful. He knows. Because man always follows things that are wicked. So if man is lustful, God understands that. No. One second. Can you not touch me again? No, can you not touch me again? So no, let me finish my concept. No, that's disrespectful, brother. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't know her. So this is why I don't want to give the time as well. I don't know you. So what I'm trying to say is that if man can go off, and man have a fleshy lust and they're very carnal-minded. So God gave them law. So if they do go off, that law is also a correction to bring them back without burning them straight away, as you say. But however, if man continue to persistently continue to break the law, at one point there has to be judgment.
He's not saying
and there has to be judgment, and you cannot choose out a judge. Judge is you.
I'm trying to
That's
work
my
out
point.
the sense.
You can.
My point is,
God.
Ask him.
I can ask him. He don't let me to ask him.
Not when I'm talking, man.
God,
man. I don't care, bro.
God made us in His image.
That's not emotion. I'm just being outright, bro.
God made us in His image.
Conversation. I've
never heard that.
Wait 1 second, bro. Brother, look,
leave him
bro,
alone.
brother, I don't push it for. If I'm talking to somebody and somebody
I
come in
am with
between,
you.
it's called
I
disrespectful.
respect
Brother, no, it's called disrespectful. I'm
didn't
having
really
a good
expect that from
conversation with him.
but I didn't
I want to
expect
stay
you
on
to
that.
react like that.
Then she can wait for her
one of
turn.
those
She can wait for her turn. No, I
I
don't care if you want to go home. What you did was wrong. I don't have to talk to you. You know, I'm talking to him. You wait. You don't do that. But she have to wait. Then once you finish your statement, you too. But hey, listen, keep the commandment. We are the Israelite. You must keep the commandment. If not, then you burn. You burn. You burn. You burn you. You burn your ass. You burn everything you ever know, and it will destroy you, brother. You too. You too. I love you, but you must keep it. No, not with these devils, man. I don't deal with devils, man. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Anyway, brother, let's keep the command. I don't care what she does. I'm talking to my brothers here. You know, I respect my brothers than any other people. That's it.
Well,
Done.
then you should also show your brother how to act with people.
No,
I
brother.
respect.
When I'm talking to somebody, I don't want anyone to interrupt me. I'm talking to him. That's it. Done.
Okay, I will ask you.
Who have I been talking to earlier? You. Anyway, let's keep the commandment, brother. We are the Israelite, and that's our job.
Next week, bring me some evidence, please.
No, I need your dark matter evidence.
Respect, man,
So you
respect.
and I, let's get.
Yeah, same thing.
I was want to tell him that he's Muslim. This is only one thing.
Just to let you
It's not
know,
the same
my
like
brother is
the
an
Bible.
Hebrew Israelite. He doesn't believe. He
Jesus
believes
is
in the
not
Old
the Son.
Testament. He doesn't believe in
Only that. But for everyone, it's only one. For Indian guys.
Everybody has their own belief in it.
Yeah, for Indian guys, for Somalian guys, for African guys, for everybody, there is only one.
And some
God.
people have many gods.
Oh my God! I can say if I say Allahu Akbar, it's the same God. If you say God help me, it's the same thing. It's only one God. There is no more God.
Say English or Arabic. If you say Allahu Akbar, it's Arabic. If you
It's the
say
Arab,
God,
it's the Abrahamic God, isn't it? So does Abrahamic God.
you have a many names, but God.
But God exists, and for everyone, it's only one.
Oh well. Next time, hopefully. Sorry. Yep. I'd say from time immemorial. That's what I would say. There you go. It's all about the roots, innit?
Yeah.
But everybody.
ContentCOE everything. From your
Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen. Man, don't listen.
They make it very unattractive to be an activist. And being an activist is never going to be easy.
Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. I don't
find it boring that the younger generation seems to take the side of more of these